Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of the Rogue Hunters podcast. I am here with the two other boys, that being Waves
Hello.
and Brian,
Hello.
and I am Snickle. So today we have a lot of topics to discuss. We do want to apologize for missing last week. We all had a few things come up, but moving forward, we have a way that we're going to work through that. But anyway, do we want to start off with what we've been playing this week? So do you want to start off, Brian?
Yeah, of course. This week I mainly put my time into Ghost of Tsushima. I finally beat the main storyline, and I'm about 13 trophies away from having 100%.
Hey, nice. Are you planning on doing the rest of the co-op stuff?
Yes, I want to do all the trophies. So yeah, I do want to finish up the Legends mode? Yeah. Legends.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, all I got left is to get the rest of my characters up to rank 20, and then add Gold Survivor, which probably isn't. Well, you guys saw me. It's not that bad. That's just my getting it finally.
Yeah, I'm not sure if people play it, but
Well, there's still people on there when when I jump on. I try to do it every so often. It's just like I get people that start leaving about wave 20 on me.
Yeah, if
So
I remember correctly,
sucks.
I think that takes approximately 40 minutes to an hour to get through the whole thing. I don't really remember too much, but you can be underpowered for it and still make it through.
Oh yeah. Well, me and Waves were doing it for right after we did the raid, and I hopped down with them to help them out level up, and we got to wave 25 when we died.
Oh,
and
shit,
I just went to bed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, actually, I think I remember that.
Yeah, you didn't want to play with us anymore.
Yeah.
Huh? Who said that? That wasn't me. Those words didn't come out of my mouth.
Yeah, but since I got you both here, though, what's the quickest way to actually you guys did level up to your level 20? Or rank 20 for your characters?
So the way that I did it, I think Waves probably did it the same way, is I just quick searched the hardest gold tier missions.
Okay.
And then I just would do them as fast as possible. I would do if I saw the Gyozins whatever, or the scrolls laying around, I would pick them up because they give you rewards which gave material. Because to be fair, I was kind of fiending for material because I was trying to get max level too for when we did the raid.
Right.
But,
well, when me and you were going through, you were carrying me through it, I ranked up my guy in no time. I was ranked 20 in 2 days with just me and you doing it.
Yeah.
And then I'm doing that on my own. I'm like, man, this is going a lot slower now.
Yeah, once you unlock the gold missions, it goes really fast. If you want the absolute fastest way to get there and you don't care about materials or anything, the absolute fastest is to just do the first mission. Because you can get through the first mission, all 3 chapters of it, in under 10 minutes, I think. So it's the absolute matter of fact, I think it's faster than that. But that's the absolute fastest way to do it would literally just to do that one over and over again. The reason I did the quick search was because the materials, but you also get extra XP for doing the quick play or whatever.
Okay, gotcha.
So
I just did gold survival.
Yeah, I don't know how that worked for you though. Was it fast?
I got it done in a day or two.
Okay.
For each character.
Okay. That's not too bad.
Yeah, I guess the survival takes longer, but it definitely gives you fatter XP at the end.
Yeah.
Especially if you do all the objectives.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I just played it. I wasn't really trying to find a fast way to do it. I just kept playing it until it eventually happened.
Right. I don't mind the survival thing. I think it's fun, so.
Yeah, that's why.
I like it, so. But
yeah,
really, that's all I've been playing. Oh, and I did get my Vendetta trophy in Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor. So.
Hey, nice.
I might get that on the Game of the Year edition just because why not?
I don't know. It's a fun game.
As well.
What have you been playing, Snickle?
What have I been playing? It's going to be a big surprise to everyone. Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Oh, one on the
start a
checklist.
counter again.
No, don't start
Might as well.
Nah, It's what I've been playing like 99% of my time. My other 1% has been I did the only online trophy in Car X Drift Racing Online, and then I basically like set up my wires and stuff so that I can set up my second PS3 and like PS4 when I need to. And then since I have my PS4 set up, I ended up just finishing up a few trophies in NBA Live 19.
Nice.
But
What the hell is Car X Drifter?
Car X Drift Racing, it's basically
Whatever.
just like it's just a car game. It's like a drifting game. It's like one of the only like drifting games, and it's like it's a shit game when it comes to trophies because you have to reach max level, which takes like a couple hundred hours of driving in a circle. But it's actually like it's a pretty decent game, like the game itself.
Okay.
And then another thing I did, another thing I looked into, what I got disappointed from was I was gonna go for the Madden 25, 15, and 16 platinums, but all three of them are actually unobtainable, even though they're shutting the servers down the 14th.
Are they unobtainable now?
Next week. Yeah, all three of them are already unobtainable if you haven't started them.
Really?
So yeah.
Oh, okay.
The reason they're
What was that?
unobtainable is for a trophy. I'm looking it up right now. It's a trophy for completing a solo challenge in Madden Ultimate Team, so MUT. There's none of the games have the challenges anymore. So none of these three games have any challenges in them. You aren't able to buy cards or packs. So basically, like, the Ultimate Team is like impossible to do unless you know someone that has it, which luckily I knew someone that had this stuff, but I can't do the challenges because they don't exist. So
Oh, that sucks.
yeah, it's a little
It's
unfortunate.
not on your list though, right?
No, it's not on my list. I mean, I did a little bit of research maybe for like an hour or two last week on like an alt account, just like figuring some things out. And I was honestly about to say like, fuck it, I'm just going to add it. But then I looked into the solo challenges and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm glad I didn't, because that would have been bad.
Well, thankfully you did the research and the testing before the main account, so.
Hey, I mean, I got to. I'm not so reckless where I'll just add anything, but
Mm.
Yeah, you're not me.
No, I mean, you're not reckless like that either, but
I
yeah.
usually ask you guys if anything's unattainable before I start it.
I mean, you can. I usually know most of it, so, or I can look into it or something. But
Right.
yeah, I've been playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I mean, I think my viewpoint is the same as it's been for the past few weeks. It's like a very good game.
Nice.
How close are you to like the platinum?
So, you know how when you load the game up, it tells you how many hours you've played?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think like today when I checked it, it said I had 65 hours played, but I'm pretty certain like 15 to 20 of those hours has been just like me sitting in the menu, because I literally turn my PS4 on like when I wake up, and I'm like, oh, I'll just play like here and there, and then I end up not playing at all, like all day. So it's literally on for like 8 or 10 hours a day. I've done that a few times. So nah, I mean, so I am. The thing that sucks with the game is there's like three big ways of going about the game. One of them is like exploring the map, so like uncovering the map and going and doing all the collectibles. The other one's like the side quests, and then the other one's like the Order of the Ancients, which is kind of like tied to the side quests in a way. Like you can do the side quests and explore at the same time, but I just find it like better to explore than do the side quests.
Okay.
But like I go back and forth. Like I'll explore for like a little bit, and then I'll do some side quests, and then I'll explore, and then I'll do some side quests. But I'm in like the exploring phase right now because I'm like power level like 240 or something. So I'm basically able to go to like almost all the areas around the map.
Okay, nice. Now, it's knowing you, are you going to make any trophy guides for this?
Yeah, I have a few in the works. I'm gonna do a lot of like collectible guides. Even though the collectibles are on the map, there's like collectibles for doing like for stacking rocks. So I mean, it may be useful to some people just to like have them.
Yeah, I
Um,
ran into one of those already, and I'm like, how the hell do I do this? And I figured it out after a couple minutes, but yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna do stuff on that, and then like the random trophies. I've only put 2 guides out so far, but um, the problem is like I want to explore the whole map before I start like diving in to do like guides. It's usually like why it takes me longer to put stuff out is I just like to explore first and then
Okay.
do stuff after.
Sounds good, man.
So I'm getting through, but it's definitely a work in progress as always.
But you're 65 hours in, but you're still enjoying it, so that's good to hear at least.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Waiver.
That's
Yes.
What have you been playing?
Honestly, not that much. I had finals come up, so I didn't get to play that much. I did get last week, I think, on Tuesday or Monday, one of those two. I got the Platinum and Demons Souls on the PSN 3, not the PSN 5.
congratulations.
Yeah. Nice.
And then out of nowhere, I got a gift for Assassin's Creed Valhalla, so I started playing that, and all I'm gonna say is that you guys were right. It is good. It is a good game.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem with it is that it tried to kill my PS5, but that's it.
I mean, it happens, right?
I'm taking credit for this because Waves actually admitted that we were right for once. So.
Mark this one down. Wait. So wait, before you say anything else, before we move forward, because you talked about it crashing your PS5. Did you guys hear about Call of Duty Cold War bricking people's PS5s?
No.
I did not hear that.
Apparently it's a thing. I may have to do a little bit of research on this in the middle of this podcast because I just heard about it like last night, but apparently it's a thing.
I
haven't heard anything about that.
Yeah.
I had Cold War downloaded on my PS5 for a bit, but it never like bricked it or anything. I never had any issues with it. So I don't know. That's crazy.
Oh, glad I don't have it.
Yeah, I have the article pulled up so we can talk about it in a little bit, but
Okay.
yeah, I just thought that was interesting.
That is interesting.
I think there was a point where I forget if it was Spider-Man Remastered or if it was Miles Morales. One of those two. It was bricking PS5s also. If you had a external plugged in.
Oh, yeah. I think it was Morales.
The joys of new consoles.
Like, the only problem I ever had with Miles Morales is that my PS5 randomly turned off for like 2 minutes, and then it turned back on, and it was like hardware error, it said, and that was it.
The only issues I've had with my PS5 is the first day I got it, I was playing Demon Souls, and then it like froze on me.
Okay.
Like, I don't know, it was weird. It was like the game was still running, but I couldn't, like, I could still play the game and everything. It got super framey, but then it would not let me go to like the home menu of the PS5 and all that.
Oh, wow.
And then it just turned off, and then it wouldn't want to turn back on, and when it did, it turned off again. And then I found out it was because of the external hard drive, so then I unplugged the external, and then it's been fine since. And then with Assassin's Creed Valhalla, if I do anything that like suspends it, it like crashes my PS5 for no reason. Like the first time it crashed, I was trying to open YouTube, and then it just like turned my PS5 off, and then it wouldn't want to turn on for like a little bit more, for a little bit. I mean, and then again it happened again when I put it in rest mode and everything. So now I just turn off. Now I just close the game whenever I do want to do anything else on my PS5.
Just be safe.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I've been having not really like PS4 issue, but like I've had the game crash on me a few times. I've had it crash on me just like randomly for no reason. Today I had issues where I was doing like one of the what's it called? Like the cursed symbols or whatever. And one of them like required me to like move a body to like move this like rock, and every time I picked the body up and took a step, my game would freeze and then crash.
Holy
And,
crap!
and it happened like 3 times. Like no matter that body was cursed because it crashed the fucking game every single time I touched it. It was ridiculous. So I ended up just like doing the thing without moving the body. But no, that's just like that's like a life lesson about anything, which like it does suck, is that like if you ever want to buy something like brand new, like the first of the kind, like for instance, like if a brand new car comes out, right, you usually don't buy it right away because you wait for them to like work the flaws out before you actually like buy it. The thing that's different with like the PS5 and stuff is most of it's like software, so it's easy for them to update.
Right.
Well, it's also like I feel like people are also blowing like these issues with the Series X and the PS5 out of proportion. Because I mean, for me so far, the PS5 has only crashed 4 times. If I take like the PS4 in its entirety, I've run out of times how many like times a game has crashed on me or my PS4 has just turned off for no reason. I remember like my launch PS4 would like eject the disc for no reason.
Yeah.
And it like did that for like years on end, and I didn't have a PS4 that didn't do that until I got my Pro. So I feel like people just blow these stuff out of proportion.
Well, yeah, because it's the new thing. It's the new console to talk about. So anything like any like sort of anomaly happens, it's like a big deal. Even though it may happen to like that might be the only person that happens to. It's gonna like that person. If they make it a big deal, it'll be a big deal.
Just remember, don't put vape inside your Xbox.
Yeah, don't vape in your
don't
Xbox.
Don't vape into your Xbox.
Don't vape in your Xbox. What an interesting one. All right, so that's what you've been playing this week. What are there any games you're looking forward to coming up, waves, or anything that you're planning on playing maybe differently, or you just gonna stick to Assassin's Creed for the next week or so?
Here, give me a minute. Sorry, there was a car coming by.
That's fine.
I'm thinking about going back to Demon Souls on the PS5 since it's kind of still fresh in my mind how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So just going back to finish that game. And then I mean we talked about this on your stream, Snickle. The whole rotation of Souls games and Devil May Cry and God of War.
Mm-hmm.
So I might do that. I don't know. I was really thinking about going to do Asura's Wrath, but I think as of right now, Demon Souls and what's that game? Devil May Cry 1, probably.
Nice.
Okay.
I know that you've been having issues with God of War on the Vita.
Oh man.
I know you've been having some issues with it, so I mean, the thing is, like, I totally get where you're coming from. If it's like crashing or not, like giving you trophies, it's just like such a pain in the ass to play shit like that.
It's not even that. It's like, so what happened was that there's in God of War 1, once you beat it, you have the challenge of the gods that you have to do. So that was already annoying to do on the PS3 just because some of the challenges are fucking stupid.
Yeah, isn't the last one when you're going up like the elevator with no edges and they can like blow you off if they just like breathe your way or something like that?
Yeah, and it's like, for me that was doable easily on the PS3 because there was frames and there wasn't like weird hit detection on it. on the Vita, there's like no frames. The hit detection's fucking weird. And then I didn't know that there was a glitch for that game where if you press the PlayStation button and you go to look at your trophies or do something else while God of War is suspended, there's a chance the trophy won't pop for you if you do what you're supposed to do.
That's wonderful. That is wonderful.
So I went. I think I went. I didn't have my save where I beat the game again. So and so I downloaded my save from the cloud. So I had to beat the game again. I forgot that back then I was stupid and I played the game on hard
Oh.
So the hit detection already being weird. So I had to beat the game again on hard, which was annoying to do just because the hit detection was fucking stupid. And then after I did that, I went to go look at the trophies because I was like, oh, maybe I don't have the Challenge of the Gods done yet. So then I didn't have it done. So I went to go do the Challenge of the Gods. I did all of them, and I did not have the trophy pop for me. So then I was like, okay, I'll just do them again. It's easy to do. I got up to the mission 10, and I already lost all, like, patience and everything. I was like, fuck this. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, there's Challenge of the Gods are, like, annoying in the first place, too. To have to do them, like, multiple times has got to be... It's got to be painful.
But yeah.
So wait, but you're playing... I know that it's the Vita version of the game, but you're playing on the actual Vita, right?
Yeah, I was playing on the actual Vita.
What if you try the TV?
I can try it on the TV, but I don't think it'll...
I don't know if that'll like fix your
it.
frames issues that's going on, or if that'll fix anything, but... I mean, that's how I was gonna plan on playing the games, was on the TV, but, I don't know.
The last time I played on the TV was God of War 2, and it was virtually unplayable.
Wonderful.
Oh, jeez. I'm not putting myself through that hell.
Good lord. Come on, PS TV. You're supposed to be my favorite console ever, you piece of shit.
If I don't do those games, I might just do Neo instead, because I've been feeling like going back to that game. But
nice.
Yeah.
That's where I'll stop my soap opera.
I mean, at least it's a path forward.
What are you going to play, Brian?
Well, after Ghost, which should hopefully be done this weekend, I was thinking I'm going to be working on Marvel Spider-Man Remastered and Middle-earth Shadow Mordor. And a little bit of Enemy Front. We need to get back online for that, of course. But I can't decide what my 10th Platinum's going to be. It's either going to be AC Valhalla or Demon's Souls. So, I've been kind of I've been jumping back and forth on those two.
Yeah, Valhalla, like, it's like any of the other Assassin's Creeds. Like, it's not just like a little, like, weekend warrior game, sadly.
Right. Well, Demon's Souls, I kind of want to do it. Yeah, it is, actually.
What's up,
2.3.
AC Valhalla is still an ultra rare, isn't it?
Yeah, yes. I mean, on the PS4, it's at 4.4. I don't know what it is on the PS5.
PS5, it's 2.3.
Yeah, so I mean, it's already, like, compared to Odyssey, I think it's already, like, a higher percentage. I mean, the thing that blows my mind with the new Assassin's Creed games, like, I'm talking, like, Origins and Odyssey, is, like, those games are, like, minimum, you know, anywhere between, like, 60 to 80 hours to get the platinum, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
And that's, like, on the super low side, and they both, like, hover around, like, 30%, which is, like, that's absurd for the amount of time that you have to put in.
Right.
Because then you look at, like, any of the other ones, and they're not, like Assassin's Creed 3, even though, like, I feel like Assassin's Creed 3 takes a shorter amount of time to do, and it's a better game, and it's, like, a 5%. Like, what? So.
It's because of that multiplayer.
Yeah.
Yeah, multiplayer, my ass, dude. That shit, you could do that with your toes, okay? I don't want to hear that.
Yeah, but people forget you can do that, you know?
Yeah, well, when you don't play with your toes, you know? Some people don't know how to do that, so that's why they can't make it, I guess.
Yeah. But as of right now, my plan is to get the games I have started completed. And then after that, I'm going to start with the rotation. I haven't decided what my rotation is going to be yet, but I'll start after I get the 6 games done.
I mean, 6 games is a good place to start. Take a month or two probably to get them all done, so...
Exactly. I'm not rushing it or anything. I really enjoy Ghost of Tsushima, and I already know I like Middle-earth Shadow Mordor, so that's kind of fun to go back to that and play.
Yeah, completely agree.
What have you been playing, Snickle? Or what do you plan on playing, Snickle, I should say?
So I'm planning on obviously I'm gonna plan on getting Assassin's Creed Valhalla done.
Okay.
My goal was to get it done not this weekend coming up, but I mean, I want to get it done as fast as possible, but like I'm probably not going to get it done this weekend, but next weekend, so the weekend of the 19th or something like that. Maybe next
All right.
week, I'm not sure. I mean, I've been playing a lot of it, but it's like it's going very, very slow. So if I can get it done next week, cool. That's kind of my goal. But after I do Valhalla, I'm going to be playing Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor Game of the Year Edition.
Nice.
And I think I was going to just play and get the Vendetta mission and call it a day, but I think I'm just going to get that Platinum in 100% and just do it over again just to get it done. So I'm going to throw that in, and then another game that I'm going to play because of servers, or there's a feature going down, and I need to figure out how to do it. I might actually start it tonight, is Battlefield Hardline.
Oh yeah.
There's a trophy, I'm looking it up right now, but there's a trophy in Battlefield Hardline, which I think we've actually left this out of the server shutdown announcement. There's a trophy in Battlefield Hardline called Test Your Metal.
Okay.
It's in the DLC Pack 3, and it's basically to complete 25 competitive matches. And I think they're taking the competitive matches out at the end of this year. So I just want to get on there and just do those.
Yeah, they'll get Black Ops 2.
Yeah, it's gonna be what's it
Can
from Black Ops 2?
Hardline?
The league, big leagues.
Oh yeah, the big.
Like
it's
that.
basically gonna be big leagues trophy, except you'll still be able to get the platinum, just not the 100%.
Okay.
I'm not sure 100% how to do it. I'm gonna look into a way of like, if I can literally plug a controller in and like turbo it.
Okay.
I'm not really sure. That's what my test was gonna be, but yeah, I'll be putting that on my list and literally getting that trophy probably. But after I get done Middle Earth, I'm gonna go back to my rotation of games, I think, which my next game is Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast, right?
Yep.
Outcast, yeah. That's gonna be my next game on my rotation.
Alright, nice.
So but
did you ever decide what your rotation was going to be, Waves?
I think we decided on God of War, Devil May Cry, and the Souls games.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
that was my recommendation
we'll
on
see.
stream.
I might replace God of War with Resident Evil.
I mean, that's a good one. I still think
That's a good one.
if you replace it, Waves, at least do Dante's Inferno.
Oh yeah, that was one that I was gonna do after God of War.
And I can hop on and help you with like some of the co-op if you need it. If you're gonna do the DLC.
Give me that account.
I have it on an EU account, so yeah, I mean you can have it if you want to.
Hey, alright.
You
Then I guess I'm gonna do Dante's Inferno.
You and Brian can do it together if you want to. You can share the account. I also have Little Big Planet 2 DLC on it as well, so
Ooh.
it's up to you guys.
You're being very tempting here.
And on the
we'll talk about this
DLC.
later.
We'll talk about this after the stream.
We'll talk about this after the stream. But yeah, I think actually, you know, before we move on, I think all three of us have kind of been we're all going to do the rotating games.
I like the idea.
Yeah, the rotating games. I'm only doing 2 franchises with my rotation with a random third game in there every once in a while, but I think Waves is going to do a triple franchise rotation.
With the random fourth game.
With a random fourth game. Look at him, one-upping me.
I think I'm going to go with the Snickle package here. 2 games with a random third every so often.
Oh, you're gonna do 4 rotation with the random 5th game.
Yeah, you gotta step it up, Brian. You gotta triple me. So you gotta do 6 with a random 7th.
I can do that.
No, but
I'm
gonna do that one franchise with like a billion games. Atelier or whatever it's called.
what? What is that?
Atelier? I don't know. I just see that there's like a new game in that series like every week or some shit.
You mean the arcade series?
No,
I'll do that one too.
I don't know. I know what you're talking
Where
about.
it's like
but what
7
is it?
trophies?
It's some anime game.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. I mean, you're completely on different.
Nah, it's some cartoon game. You probably don't want to play it. Let's be honest.
And now we're going to get all the dislikes because he said anime was a cartoon. Well, this podcast lasted 3 episodes. Good job.
50% of the trophy audience.
Dude, I'm not roasting anyone. I'm just saying, like, the A word.
We made 3 episodes. Good run, boys.
No. The A word is a cartoon. Like, is that not, like, that is a fact? I'm not being subjective here. Like, that is a fact.
I'm not confirming or denying this.
No, Snickle. It's an animation.
It's an animation and it's a cartoon. It's a cartoon.
No. There's cartoons and then there's animation.
It's a cartoon, okay?
No.
It's a cartoon. I need to look up the definition of a cartoon, okay?
All right. While you do that,
we'll move on to the next
topic. While you do that,
a simple drawing showing the features of its subjects in humorously exaggerated way, especially a satirical one in a newspaper or magazine.
Okay. You're talking about a different cartoon.
No, that's
so
a
if
cartoon.
If we're going by that definition, then anime is not a cartoon.
All right, here's definition number 2. A motion picture using animation techniques to photograph a sequence of drawings rather than real people or objects. That is anime. I'll say it.
No.
I will say it. Anime equals cartoon. There we go. Facts.
Oh, 3
That's
episodes
facts
was
right
good.
there. I'm not hating on anything. I'm just saying that is facts. That's a fact.
This is Snickle talking.
I mean, I don't even watch cartoons, so I don't even watch animes.
Waves just said it himself. Okay, cool. We can move on to the next topic.
Okay, next topic.
Hell yeah, on to the next one. Go ahead, Brian. What do you got?
Okay, well, since we didn't get a chance to do the podcast last week, this topic was kind of a one for Black Friday and Cyber Monday game pickups. Did anybody pick up anything?
I did. Hold on, let me pull my Amazon up because I bought some. I bought some slappers. I can start this off. So I actually went. I went to the store to buy second copies of Madden 25, 15, and 16. So rip, I have 2 copies of those games for no reason. But on Black Friday, this is what I bought, or that weekend. So one of them, an absolute slapper, which I'm gonna play on stream at some point. Fast and Furious Crossroads.
How much did you pay for that?
$20.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine.
Absolute banger. Then I have Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, Marvel's Avengers. I bought the physical version of Human Fall Flat because I think that comes with all of the DLC and everything.
Okay.
And it was only like $10. I bought Project Cars 3, Grid 2019, Minecraft Dungeons Hero Edition, Destroy All Humans, NASCAR Heat 5, and Saints Row the Third on the PS4.
Destroy All Humans, that's the remake?
Yeah, PS4 one. I got it on sale for $15.
Oh, you can. That's not bad.
So, yeah, good price there. All of the games that I picked up, so they were all under $20, except I know I said I wouldn't do it, but I did. Marvel's Avengers I picked up because I kind of just want to do the game because I feel like it's going to die.
Mm-hmm.
The other game that was over $20 was Project Cars 3, but that game literally just came out 2 months ago. So, I mean, I can't really beat that, maybe less. And that was it. Those were the only 2 that I paid over $20 for.
Oh, that's not bad.
So, how about you, Waves? You pick anything cool up?
Not really. I got Valhalla. No, I didn't even really get that. That was gifted to me.
Mm-hmm.
I bought Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, Capcom Beat 'em Up bundle, and that's really it. Oh, Enemy Front, but apparently that's not gonna arrive to my house until like January.
Jeez.
I mean, that's fine.
Because GameStop apparently doesn't know how to package stuff.
Well, we knew that.
Well, the thing is, the problem is, I know why it's a problem, because they got to go to the dumpster in the back, find it, and then ship it to you. It's a whole process.
Like, I got an email from them being like, you'll probably won't have your stuff till next year, so sorry. I was like, alright then, I guess.
You
Wait,
should email them back. I want it for free.
Yeah, you know what's weird though? I've had Amazon do that, but then it literally shows up the next day. So I know that's Amazon. That's a whole different thing. But like I've had that happen before. I don't know if you guys have ever bought stuff on Prime and it says it's Prime, and then you go to like you check out and you do all this shit, and then you check it, and it's literally like it's coming in 3 weeks or something, and you're like, huh?
Yep.
And then it shows up the next day.
It did that to me for Valhalla. I actually bought it, pre-ordered it for the PS5, and then told me it wouldn't be here until after Christmas. So I canceled it and just went to GameStop and bought it.
Yeah. Every time it says that, I'm just like, whatever, I don't need it right now, and then it shows up the next day. So I don't know what kind of magic that is, but whatever.
Well, like, I was supposed to get DMC5 Special Edition, like, the actual physical copy of it on December 1st, I think?
Okay.
Or December 5th, one of those two. And then I was waiting for it, and then it just never came, and then I looked at it, and then it just changed the delivery date to, like, December 16th. And I'm like, huh?
That was
I don't know.
on Amazon?
That was on GameStop.
Oh, on GameStop, yeah. GameStop, they a little
GameStop
sus sometimes.
Fucking weird.
Yeah, they sus.
I can't wait to get Enemy Front in the fucking CD sleeve.
I mean,
So you don't got to play it on now no more?
no doubt, you're either getting it in a CD sleeve or a black case. One of the two.
I hope it's a black case.
If I'm gonna tell you this right now, Waves, if you get that game in a regular case, like just a normal Enemy Front case, go play the lottery. Because you're probably gonna win the lottery too.
Or you could have just bought off eBay like I did.
That's what I did. I think I spent $5, and mine
Yep,
came with
same.
mine came with like a sleeve as well. I didn't even know that game came with a sleeve, but hey.
I didn't pay anything.
Oh, they just gave it to you?
Yeah, basically. I had like a $5 coupon.
Oh,
I didn't even like use points on it. It was just there, and
okay, no complaining then. Okay.
They said take it off of our hands, please. We've been trying to get rid of this game since it came out in 2013 or 2014.
they were like, we don't want it anymore.
I do want to finish the multiplayer for that soon though, but we can wait until January. That's fine.
I mean,
It'll
we can
matter.
still do the multiplayer.
True, yeah, we can.
I'm getting it more for the single player because I do not want to aim with that latency.
Yeah,
That's true.
exactly.
I need to look into how to do the XP stuff because that's like the last thing we have.
Yeah, 50 matches and XP.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Did you pick anything up, Brian?
I
Interesting.
only got to pick up one thing because I'm a broke person at that time. I picked up Marvel's Avengers.
You fell for it as well.
Yeah, but you know what? At least we can help each other out now.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm never buying that game.
Oh yes, you are. You know we're gonna talk you into it.
See, I bought Marvel's Avengers, and then I remembered like 6 months ago I also bought Anthem, and I was like, yo, I should probably do Anthem because I mean it's already dead, but
Anthem wasn't bad. I played that on day one.
I mean it looks cool, but you know.
Of course, I played Fallout 76 on day one as well, and I liked it. So.
I mean,
We need to get you to play some real games.
Fallout 76 has its own. I mean, that's really like any Fallout game. It's got its own charm. Usually not good, but no, he's getting there. Waves, he's getting there. He's playing Ghost of Tsushima right now.
No,
he's playing
I'm kidding,
AC
I'm kidding.
Valhalla. I mean, yeah, we brought on Enemy Front. That's like the worst game you could probably bring on, but you know, whatever. You gotta throw something in there every once in a while.
I'm kidding. You know, you can play whatever the hell you want.
And I played My Name is Mayo 2. Come on.
That's goaty.
Did you play the first one though?
I bought it, but I haven't played it yet. That's going to be like platinum number 13.
How are you gonna play 2 without knowing what happened in 1?
Yeah, that's
Because I
true.
played
You're not
one on my
gonna
own
you're not
account.
gonna understand the little subtlety.
Yeah, the narrative,
I
man.
played-
They connect. they're interweaved together.
Hey, I played the first one when it first came out.
I need to play a game I want to play soon. Is Perplexing Orb 1. I gotta
From the
represent.
homie Eli.
I gotta represent the homie Eli, man. I got to. That's the homie.
Gotta do the series.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
What are y'all guys' thoughts on the PlayStation Plus games for this month?
It's horrible.
Well, I guess first I should read them out.
Yeah, go ahead and read them out, and then we can discuss.
For the PS4 and the PS5, you'll be getting Worms Rumble. You can still download Bug Snatch until February.
Yep.
And then you will also be getting Just Cause 4 and Rocket Arena.
Yeah. I mean, cool.
Yeah.
But yeah. I don't know. The thing is with PS Plus games is like I feel like they're always a disappointment because you could sit there and say like Just Cause 4 is a good PS Plus game, like it's a good game because it's an okay game, but I think you could literally give anyone anything for free and they would complain about it. So
True.
People were hyping up like this month's for some reason. I don't know why it was this month in particular, but
they always do. And the funny thing is, when I was on PSN Profiles the other day, and I realized that like this week was the first week for the new games. I was like, what the fuck? Why is like Worms Rumble has more players than any fucking other game? Like what? What are people doing with their lives?
I got a few people on my Twitter that actually been playing Worms Rumble, and they say they're actually enjoying it.
I mean, I don't doubt that. Worms is a fun franchise.
It is a fun game, and I think they made it more like a Plants vs. Zombies, kind of like Garden Warfare. They made it like that style now, I believe. Somebody was saying.
Don't even get me started on that.
Don't say that.
don't say those words around here. That cursed franchise.
And Rocket Arena, I have no idea what it is.
Isn't that?
I don't know anything about that game. All I know is that it's published by EA.
Oh, I'm really not playing it now.
This game, I think I don't know if it's supposed to be like a, I don't know. I think Andrew was trying to get me to play this with him when it came out. I don't know if it's like a battle royale or what it is, but
it looks like it
looks fucking
knockoff Overwatch.
If you want to be honest, it looks stupid. It should be free in the first place, but you know.
Yeah,
whatever.
we could boost Worms Rumble. I don't even know if I'll still play it, and I might do Just Cause 4. I don't know yet.
I think the problem that I had with PSNP was like, why is Worms Rumble at the top? Like, there's literally the PS5 just came out, and there's all of these games that just came out, and people are playing Worms Rumble.
Well, yeah, they all finished Spider-Man. They can't play any other game that's going to be harder than that.
I mean, I guess you kind of right, but
and nobody even has the platinum yet for Worms Rumble.
Yeah, you have to do 50 daily challenges, so people aren't going to get it for almost 2 months, which is kind of funny.
So when we doing it,
whatever. All right, that just kind of like tilted me when I saw Worms Rumble up there. Like, not that it can't be up there, but it's like, dude, there's all of these games that have like they just came out, and this is what you guys want to play? Like, come on.
What were you expecting? Fucking Assassin's Creed Valhalla up there?
What, as a top played?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it is. If you didn't have the PS3 or if you didn't have the PS4 and PS5 separate list, it would be on the top of the list. I mean, that's how Odyssey was last year. Odyssey was literally in the top 10 every single week all year long. It was always in the top 10. Even though that game is complete dog shit, it was in the top 10.
Oh, Just Cause 4 is getting up there.
All I have to say about this topic is, if you have a PS5 and you're playing Worms Rumble and you haven't played Astro's Playroom yet, I do not trust you, and you better go play Astro's Playroom.
Or Demon's Souls.
Oh, yeah,
Demon's Souls.
Yeah. Or Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Go put some time into that.
Or Ghost of Tsushima in 60 frames.
That too.
Exactly.
That too.
It's great on the PS5.
I'm just whatever. I may
tilted
sound
the fuck out of Snickle.
I may sound snobby right now, but like, come on. I get it's free, but like, come on. There's so many other like good games to be playing.
We're not even in the full topic shot, and he's already getting pissy.
Yeah, you could be playing Immortals Phoenix Rising right now.
You could. I've heard it's actually a good game.
I'll believe
Looks
it when
like
I play
a
it.
knockoff, like Breath of the Wild to me.
Well, it definitely does, but hey,
It
I mean,
does.
if it's a good game, it's a good game.
You're right.
I mean, maybe Worms Rumble is a slapper. I don't know, but
We'll probably never find out.
They're all trying to be first achiever, that's why.
Yeah, you're right. They're going to get everything done except the 50 challenges. Someone's going to miss one day, and they're going to miss it. Laugh my ass off. All right, so those are the plus games for December. They'll be here for 4 weeks, so nothing's going to be changing there. So let's get into our topics, which this is going to be the meat and potatoes of this podcast. So
There's a shit ton.
Yeah,
of topics.
the first topic, which I want to talk about, which is going to piss me off even more. We've already got started, and we're just going to take it to the next level. So I'm sure everyone here uses PSN Profiles as a website to track their trophies or look at upcoming trophy lists or upcoming games, what DLCs get released, all that.
Yep.
I more want to put a question out there, and we can have a little discussion. Why are some games on the PS4 getting PS5 lists? I just need some sort of explanation for this. Now, we talked about this when the PS5 came out, and I think we were all under the same, we were all speculating the same thing, that if the game was getting a physical release on the PS5, it would get a PS5 trophy list. Makes sense, right? Because the PS5 is backwards compatible for any or a majority of PS4 games. So if I'm going to play any PS4 game on my PS5, it's going to have the PS4 list. Well, I guess that's not going to be the thing now, because recently we've had games like Destiny 2 have a PS5 trophy list. We've had games like Rainbow Six Siege have a PS5 trophy list. We had games like Borderlands 3 have a PS5 trophy list. Why are these games getting PS5 trophy lists?
Because they're dying.
But
Those
the
games
thing
are
is,
dying, and they want people to turn it on so they can show their bosses before Christmas. Hey, see how many people are playing our games? Can we get our bonus?
I mean, I guess, but the thing is the trophies auto pop, so it's not even like you have to you literally turn the game on and you get a platinum in 2 seconds.
Yeah, but it still shows that so many people logged onto it to play.
I mean, I guess, but I'm still going on here. No Man's Sky, why are these games getting separate trophy lists, but they're not getting separate, they're not getting full releases. We were talking about how Watch Dogs Legion, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Dirt 5, DMC 5 Special Edition, these games are all getting physical releases on the PS4 and the PS5. Makes sense. But now it just seems like any list can be a PS5 list if the developer just puts a little update out.
I mean, it's not a little update, because they are adding new stuff, even if it is better graphic fidelity or whatever.
Yeah.
So it makes sense, because in order for it to just, I guess this doesn't really make sense actually, but in order for it to just be the same list, it would have to basically be the same game, right? From what I understand, at least, if it's not already stacked, how Vita, PS3, and PS4 stacks were, or whatever, back when they actually made them one stack.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when it's going to get a new trophy list. But I think when I was talking back then about that, I think I was thinking more about what's it called? Remasters and stuff like that. If we were going to see a Ghost of Tsushima remaster or not.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking more of, on the lines of. And if you just take Warframe on the PS4 to Warframe on the PS5, there are major differences, even if it is just graphical difference. The same thing with Destiny 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if it's like that, where they actually do something to change the graphics, even if it is just how PCs do it, where they just click a button and then, oh, you got fucking 60 FPS now or whatever. I think that's how that's how we know if it's going to have a PS5 or a PS4 version separately.
So,
Whether or not it's like right for them to just pop the trophy and stuff like that, that's a whole other like question, which is more along the lines of if you get the game for free. So like Destiny 2 makes sense that it's gonna pop the trophies because it's all on one server.
yeah.
Something like Spider-Man PS4 where you just like bring your save over and you just pop the fucking games. Like, you guys paid $20 more to get this, and you guys aren't even gonna play the game. You know?
Well, it also kind of gets, even though it's not really the same thing, it gets into like, you know, back on the PS3 when people would just take people's saves and game save them. I mean, that's essentially what you're doing, except you're doing it with your own game, or like with your own save, which like technically by like the definition of what people use on like PSMP in the forum posts, if you're using anything but your own save, like it's considered acceptable. Like for instance, if you were to do sound shapes, and you know how people like stack sound shapes like 50 times or whatever, however many times you could stack it, that was like technically seen by the community and everything, and like by moderators, that was like technically acceptable. Like it wasn't a bannable thing because it was your save that you were just using on different versions. So like it's gonna have that same like that's how it's gonna be looked at for all these other games. But like, I mean, I agree, Waves. Why are you spending money just to get like a few trophy? But that's how all these easy ass platinums are, so it's not really anything new.
Yeah.
So
It's sad, but yeah.
yeah, and trust me, I get the whole thing of like if you're upgrading the graphics, like it gets a new list. Like I kind of can understand that because that's a lot of how cross-generation stuff worked. Like if you look between like the PS3 and PS4, you know, even though the games came out on the console separately, like if you look at like Far Cry 4 or like Watch Dogs, like graphically between, or even like a big meme is like Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor, like graphically between Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor on the PS3 and the PS4 is like a completely different game. So I think that is like a different experience. But I guess like where I'm getting lost now is like on the PS3 and PS4, they were like actual physical releases, or it was titled in the store as Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor for the PS3. And since the PS4 wasn't backwards compatible, that there was no like, there was no gray area. It was black and white. Whereas like now it's like there's backwards compatibility. You know, is it as easy as them putting an update out for the graphics, which then provides a separate trophy? Like it just gets into like a whole like gray area now, where it was very defined on the PS3, from the PS3 to the PS4, like in that generation.
Right.
From my understanding, at least, it's just you're downloading. I think the files for the PS5 version of Destiny 2 are bigger.
Oh,
because of more.
They have to be.
Yeah. So I don't think it's just like an update that they just. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I'm not sure like how the architecture behind it works, but like, I've never. I mean, you guys are probably the same. Like, I've never agreed with like auto popping trophies.
Oh no, I don't agree with it.
I mean, if you want to say like I've technically done it on a few games where I've auto popped a few trophies, like 2 games that I'm thinking of that come to mind are I like technically Drawn to Death, but like you had to do other trophies. It wasn't a full like 1-to-1. You're gonna get this in 2 seconds, and the other one was Deformers. But the only thing that auto pop was like ranked stuff. Everything else you had to get like on your own. So
I think which games do I have auto pop? I think I only have Sly.
4.
Yeah, I think that's the only that one, and Destiny 2 technically. Because Destiny 2 I like cross saved from my PC to my PS4. And then they popped the trophies I had on my PC already.
Yeah, I mean, to me like that's okay because you're doing like cross-platform. Like you put all your time in on the PC and now you're going to play on the PS4. So you're just transferring it and then you're getting your like you're getting your trophies that you got for like doing the stuff on the PC, even though like you could argue like, well, you got Steam achievements or whatever, but if you're just looking at like one profile, it's like it is like somewhat acceptable. But I think to like just auto pop a whole list, like if you were just to like, I'm gonna download Destiny 2 on my PS5, which by the way I think is completely free, and then you load the game up and you get a platinum in 2 seconds, like I don't think that's cool. But at the same time, like it's effed up because like what if I truly wanted to play Destiny 2 on the PS5 and I've already done it on the PS4? I'm basically gonna get all the trophies auto popped anyway. So
The way do you have to like cross save? Oh, I guess you would have to cross save over.
I would assume you would have to because it's split up by network. So it would be PlayStation Network. It would be your PlayStation Network account would be tied to your Bungie account, which has all your saves. It's not going to be like a PS4 save and then a PS5 save. It's just going to be like a PSN save. So even if I truly wanted to play Destiny 2 on the PS5, I think it would automatically auto pop all the trophies. Even if I didn't want it to, I think it would. Whereas like Spider-Man Remastered, like you could manually transfer your save over. And do it like by yourself, you know.
Yeah, I get you.
So
Right.
I don't know. I don't want to get fired up for too much longer. I just like it's been a thing that I've been seeing over the past few weeks. I see it happening over the next few months, and especially with like the overlap of generation of consoles, I think it's going to be a thing that definitely is going to happen. If games
I can see it
just want to
happening
like
throughout the
update,
next year.
but
It's probably going to happen throughout the whole year, in all honesty.
yeah, it's just going to be because there's an overlap of games, and there's going to be games that are coming out on the PS4, like Ghost of Tsushima. I mean, I would love to see it get another list and like not auto pop, but I think developers may just make PS5 lists like going along, just because it's kind of what's happening.
I kind of don't want to do that raid again, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think with Ghost, like the legend mode would have to save. It's like the same thing as like Destiny 2,
Right.
where it's kind of tied to your like PSN account. But
well, also like the other thing, like just seeing which ones are getting new lists so far. Now, most of them are live service games, which I think most of us saw coming.
Yeah,
at least I saw coming. I think, like, the only outlier, really, like, I'm sure there'll be more remasters or whatever, will be, Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, but it, they're technically calling it a remaster, so, like, it technically is a new game.
Right, and they did add DLC or add trophies to it as well.
Yeah, they did add like a set of DLC trophies, but
which I don't mind. I like that idea.
Oh, the one that sticks out to me that's just like what the fuck is happening is Maneater.
Yeah.
But Maneater did get a PS5 release, so I mean that does make sense.
Physical,
now.
Right? I think it got a physical release as well.
It did. Yeah, it did.
Okay.
So that one doesn't matter.
Okay. These are like, this is gonna be like a weird time. It's the same thing like when it was from PS3 to PS4. I remember when like we went from PS3 to PS4. Like one of the questions was, "Is our trophies gonna transfer over to the PS4?" Because a lot of people didn't know that it was going to be that your trophies were now tied to your PSN account rather than your console, because back when it first happened it was tied to your console or whatever. So right now it's like a lot of questions of what's going to transfer over, what isn't, and right now it's a lot of questions that need answers.
I mean, at the end of the day, like it won't matter because you just won't play what you don't want to play. But I mean, the next year I think is going to be interesting to see like how everything plays out with if games get new lists or if it is going to be like Spider-Man where they, do it as like a remaster, even though it's the only thing that's changing is really like adding more particles or whatever. Does that really consider it a remaster at that point? So,
Well, I do like how they did do some changes to Spider-Man. I noticed, like the crimes, they happen more frequently now. Like I don't gotta swing around like before just to give them a pop. They're popping like just like in Miles Morales. They're popping up all the time now, which I'm really happy for because that was one of the biggest grinds actually. And when the game first came out on the PS4, was trying to get all the crimes to pop up.
Yeah.
They had the ray tracing and all that too.
Yeah, and it's beautiful looking. I'm playing at 60 frames, but yeah, I like it. I think it's a lot better, or a little bit better, but I'm still enjoying it. I still can't stand how they changed Peter Parker, but that's a story for a different day.
I couldn't stand it at first, and then I was just like,
he's kind of growing on me. He's kind of growing on me as it goes, but I'm like, why would he change him? I hate it. I hate that they did.
All right, so let's move on to we'll move on to the next topic. I wrote this down. Just something that I was hitting on before when you were talking about your games crashing waves. Black Ops Cold War bricking PS5s.
Yeah.
I linked the article, which is a gaming Bible article. Basically, there was people on Reddit talking about how the game was crashing on the PS5, and when they turned it on, none of their games were loading without crashing, and then when games did load up, the screen would fill with like flickering and glitched pixels before the console would turn off. So, I don't know if that has to do with Activision. There are people stating that it's not just Activision's fault, but it's the console's fault too. But I just think that's. I mean, we mentioned it earlier. Like it's hard with a new console because of like all the software issues, and sadly, I don't think you can fix a bricked console with a nice software update. So that would suck if your console bricked, but.
I think now that like we're actually getting to this story, I think I remembered reading somewhere that Activision themselves put out a fix for it. Not like a fix for it, but it was a way to get your PS5 to work again. Or something like that. It was like you had to soft reboot. No, wait, hard reset. Yeah, hard reset your PS5 so it would delete all of your shit on there, but then you can use your PS5 again.
That's fucking wild. So you basically have to reset your hard drive.
Yeah, I think it might be like a mixture of both. Cause like, I don't know about y'all, but when I played any Call of Duty game on my PS4, the only one that wasn't like this was a Modern Warfare Remastered. They all were like super slow. The trophies wouldn't pop right. It would make my PS4 slow, and then so I feel like it's probably a Call of Duty thing of like just breaking shit.
I mean, I haven't played too many on the PS4, but out of the ones I have played, that being Ghosts and Black Ops 3, I never really had any issues with like performance with the games or like having the game like completely break my PS4, like popping trophies late. The only issue I ever had with a Call of Duty game was in Black Ops 3 back when it came out, but it was more on the networking side where I would, search for a game with the people I was playing with, and then we would play around, and then after the round ended, my game would like disconnect, and then I would get disconnected from the party, and then they would continue searching, and then I would be kicked out. So then I had to wait a whole nother round for them to finish their round, and then pull me back in, which was like a big pain in the ass, which is the reason why I stopped playing that game altogether. But that's the only issue I ever had. There's people saying here that they're saying both Spider-Man Miles Morales and Spider-Man Remastered have, crashed on the PS5, but the bricking has been happening only in for Call of Duty. So I have to say I do think part of it is like Activision's fault, because like you said, Waves, with was it Modern Warfare, the reboot, where like trophies would pop like
Yeah,
10 seconds too late or something.
and it wasn't just Modern Warfare, like the reboot. There was also Modern Warfare 2, the remake or whatever.
The campaign.
It was. I remember most of my screenshots being of my homepage on the PS4
Mm-hmm.
because they took forever to pop and stuff like that. And it would also make my PS4 super slow, so there's something up over there at Activision.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's a combination of both. It can't be just one game.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I mean, I have to agree.
Like, the only game I ever had trouble, like, trophies popping late on was Doom 2016. That was, like, the only game I ever remember having, like, trophies pop, like, really late, like 2 minutes sometimes.
Yeah, that's really weird. I remember Modern Warfare. I remember the Modern Warfare reboot was like a big deal because literally everybody that I talked to that played that game said that shit about like the trophies popping like 10 seconds late, 10 to 20 seconds late. They were literally like, I did what I needed to do for the trophy, and like my game like lowered to like 10 frames a second, and then like 20 seconds later my fucking trophy popped, which is just like that's such like a strange thing to happen. But I mean, maybe the game isn't optimized. I don't know, like, you know, what goes on behind the scenes with all of it, but I feel like it has
they're also
something to do with
like,
the game itself and not the consoles.
there's also the thing where like I've noticed that for almost every Call of Duty like thing since Modern Warfare have been huge fucking installs.
Oh, they're like hundreds of gigs.
Yeah.
That's why I partially think it has to come down to like optimization, because I'm sorry, like you're like Call of Duties, I get that they have the battle royale and everything, but your game does not need to be 150 gigs. And then that's not even like, some of the times that's not even like with DLC. Like once you have all the DLC installed and everything, you're talking hundreds of gigs, and the games still run like shit. Like you have there's games that like I'm just trying to think off the top of my head, but there's dozens and dozens of games that are like 20 gigabytes that look just as good as these games, and they're a fraction of like what the size of the game is. And I think that has to come down to like optimization. It has to be. That's the only thing I can think of.
And DMC5 is one of like the best looking games on the PS4. And that shit was like 20 something gigs, if I remember correctly, or 30 something.
Yeah. And again, I think the big thing is like it is the battle royale, like the map for battle royale. But like it's been like this. It's not just been the battle royale parts of like Call of Duty. Like Black Ops 4 has been like, I mean, Black Ops 4 had battle royale. Like Black Ops 3 had this. Like all of them had this. Like Ghosts, like all of them.
Well, since we're on this topic, kind of, and we kind of just passed this, I just got a tweet from Sony about Destiny 2, actually. It's going to be at 4K resolution, 60 frames per second, and it has a field of view slider now.
I did.
So cool.
I did see the field of view slider thing.
Yeah. About 11 hours ago, they updated. They just sent the tweet out to my phone, and I just saw it. Well, at least it's getting somewhat, something added to it.
I think
not
for
just
most of them, they're definitely getting something.
Right.
I don't think it'll... The thing with, like, from PS3 to 4, from what I remember, a lot of them were literally just the same game. Like, there were no real difference, even, like, graphic fidelity-wise and stuff. Like, Tomb Raider Definitive Edition was, like, a different... It was, like, 60 frames, if I remember correctly, and then there was a DMC Devil May Cry Definitive Edition. But, like...
I don't know. That's tough, because the game I think about that was big, and I don't know like frames, or I'm just thinking about it like graphically, is like Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor. Like from the PS3 to the PS4 was like a completely different game. I would have to say that like
Well, yeah, there's
I
those outliers like Black Ops 3.
I think AC4 as well, and Watch Dogs.
AC4 looked the same
I think it looked better.
from
I
what
mean,
I
it had better
remember.
particles and stuff on the 4 than 3, but
Yeah, but
like you're talking like
that's what
frames
I'm.
wise. No, probably
That's
nothing.
not even like frames wise. Like I'm just talking straight from. If you looked at, if we just took like the PS3 version and the PS4 version of Assassin's Creed 4,
Mm-hmm.
the PS3 one ran at 30, the PS4 one ran at 60.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, they were pretty much the same game. They both ran like at a sub 1080%, not 1080%, at a sub 1080p resolution.
Mm-hmm.
They both like, it was basically still the same game. Like when you're taking into account the PS4 to the PS5, like the Pro could do 4K. I'm doing quotation marks right now, but it was like upscaled 4K. It wasn't true native 4K. The PS5 is able to do true native 4K, and I think 8K also, but no one's gonna have that for a while. And and then it can even do like 120 FPS. Those are things that like you can't just send out an update for, like to the PS4 version to just do.
Oh yeah.
So I feel like that's the differentiating thing. I feel like with these, you're actually getting a new, guess not new experience, but you're actually getting new stuff with it, as opposed to the PS3 to PS4, with the outliers being Shadow of Mordor and that other game, Black Ops 3.
Well, I think the big
where
jump,
it was basically just the same.
Yeah, I think the big jump between like the 3 and the 4 was like the 3 was like the first like HD console, where like the 4 was like it was obviously more powerful, so they were just adding like I feel like the improvements from the 3 to the 4 were like you said, like 60 frames in some games, maybe maybe a few better particle effects, like you know it was very minimal from the change, but then from the 4 to the 5, I think like we're already in the HD, like we've been in the HD gaming like for so long that now like the jump has to be so much more significant for it to be like a next gen console. Because I just think about that with like PC, like even though I don't really play too many games on PC, if you were to compare like a PS4 to a PC, like it's not even comparable. Like, so if you were able to get PC power from a console, like that would be a huge gain. And that obviously wasn't going to happen from PS3. Like, but it's somewhere. Hey, but all I got to say with Destiny 2 is, you're going to get your FOV slider, you're going to get your 4K and whatever, but don't worry, they're going to take the rate out that they put in the game for the first when it initially came out. So they're just going to rip some content out from that.
Wait, really?
Yeah, the Leviathan raid is getting removed from, it was removed I think from the game.
What the fuck?
They literally ripped content out of the base game. But hey, I mean, you'll get your 4K and your FOV slider, so it'll be okay. But that's gonna segue into the next segment, where single player games are thriving.
Hell yes.
Oh yeah, so PlayStation had like a huge leak recently, and we'll talk more about some other stuff in that leak later. But one of them was a research that Sony themselves did that took into account the amount of time they played, how long they played, like how long those PlayStations were, and all that jazz.
Okay.
And what they found was more people are playing single player games rather than multiplayer games, and the lie we've all been fed to these last few years is that single players dying. Nobody buys single player games. If they do, they never finish them. People mostly play multiplayer games and all that shit. This research is basically the reason why the PS5 has so many features when it comes to single player games, like trophy tracking, how the percentage of how much of the level you have done, and all that stuff, because they found out that some of the problems people had was not knowing what to do. Like right here it says not knowing how long they need to achieve in-game goals. So now if you look at the PS5, when you press the PlayStation button, it shows you how long that mission usually is and stuff like that.
Right. Or how far you're into it, I believe, too. I think that for Miles Morales, like, you were, like, say, 65% done with it or whatever. It'll give you, like, a percentage of at some point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I think we all saw the, single player dying was a lie.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, I think anyone that believed that was just, like, you had to be blinded by it. And like, don't get me wrong, like, multiplayer games, like, they have their place and, like, people want to play them, but, like, the issue that, like, the issue that I see with multiplayer games is, like, people, like, first of all, you can get burnt out by a multiplayer game, like, and you can get burnt out by a single player, you can get burnt out by any game. And because the thing with a multiplayer game, if you take, for instance, like, Call of Duty or NBA or Rocket League, any of these things, for the most part, like, the game that you're playing over and over again is almost the same thing every single time. There's slight variations because your opponents are changing or something like that, but for the most part, it's the same thing over and over and over again. Where, like, a single player game, you may be experiencing, like, different things. But I think we're, like, especially, like, EA, since they were the ones that were, like, feeding this lie, is, like, they were trying to push this, we have games, we're trying to do games as a service, and it blew up in their face with Battlefront 2. They had games like Anthem that were supposed to be the Destiny killer, that you can't have a game as a service if you don't provide services after you launch the game. That's not a game as a service then. You basically put a game out and that's what it is. Like, Anthem has been completely ditched at this point, and they were just feeding off of their Ultimate Team, stuff that they got with FIFA and Madden and, NBA Live at one point, but they were feeding off that, and that was what they were trying to say was, like, their game as a service, which, I don't see. I mean, I've dug into Ultimate Team. I used to play my team on, like, the NBA 2K games, so, like, I have, like, experience with, like, how that works, and, like, it's just, that's not a game as a service, because that's literally, like, you going and, like, buying packs to get people to play with in a game. So the service that you're providing is basically, I mean, it's not, I wouldn't say it's gambling, but it's the same thing as, like, when you were a kid, if you wanted to go out and get Pokemon cards or Yu-Gi-Oh cards. It's literally the same concept of, like, going out, buying a pack, and hoping that you get something that you don't have. And 9 out of 10 times, you're going to get something that you already have, or you're going to get, like, a pile of shit. So.
Right. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Phil Spencer even agree on this, that single player is dead? At one point, he was trying to tell people that everything's is better online, and that's where their main focus was online games.
I remember reading that.
I don't recall off the top of my head.
Because I can't remember if he did or not. I remember EA saying it for sure, but look at the numbers that Sony has pulled off with its single player alone, Like, I believe this article even says, Spider-Man sold 13 million on its own?
Yeah.
Oh, so this is what he said. In 2017, he said Phil Spencer... he did not say Phil Spencer. He said single-player games like Horizon Zero Dawn don't have the same impact as before. Which can be taken as many things, but...
Yeah. That's it.
The thing that I don't understand about, like, a statement like that is, like, if you look at a game like Horizon Zero Dawn, right? immediately, right when it comes out, I don't remember what Call of Duty was out when Horizon Zero Dawn came out, but that is just a perfect example of like that's why like a game as a service, just like it doesn't matter. Like those are things where like in the moment, like they are great games. They can be great games, right? But
Right.
years down the line, they're dog shit. But guess what? Horizon Zero Dawn, years down the line, is still going to be Horizon Zero Dawn. You're still going to
Right.
experience the same game. Like a game that I have a huge amount of nostalgia for, and I fucking loved playing it back in the day, but it's never going to happen again, is Destiny. The original Destiny was so much fun to play week in, week out, doing all the weekly stuff, doing all this stuff. It was a blast. And then Destiny 2 comes out, it's dog shit. There's no game that is like it right now with like doing the raids and doing your weekly reset. Like there's really nothing like it. And guess what? It's dead now. So
And they can't really say that single player games are gonna die because look at Game of the Year every year. It's always single player.
well, that's because when it comes down to it, those games are more impactful. I mean, like I said with Horizon, like I remember Horizon. I remember when it came out. I remember where I was in life. I couldn't tell you the same game. I couldn't tell you the same thing about, what Call of Duty was out that year.
Right.
And, mainly that comes down to I didn't play it. But I think that, like, when you look back at it, those single player games are way more impactful. Like, there's more people that are talking about, games like The Last of Us and The Last of Us 2 than are talking about Call of Duty Advanced Warfare that, like those games they're gone. They're lost. They're in the dust, and these single player games are the ones that are still thriving 10, 15, 20 years after they come out. They're still thriving.
Well, look at God of War. People are still playing God of War, the PS4 one.
Yeah.
And I remember pre-ordering that and playing it. I still play that game. I love it. But I still see streamers who are picking it up for the first time, and they're like, why didn't I play this sooner?
Yeah, I mean, there's even games like you can go back like, Super Mario 64 or like
Exactly. There you go.
just any like old game, like even like original like Super Mario Bros. Or like Donkey Kong or like the original Mortal Kombat, like all of these games that came out like 30 years ago or 40 years ago, whenever they came out, like those games are like more impactful than like games that came out like 5 years ago that are quote unquote games as a service, because your game has fucking died 5 years later, where these games have lived on because they're so impactful.
Oh yeah. Like I can remember a lot of games I played growing up. Original Sonic. Come on.
Yeah. And that's like the funny, like the thing that makes me laugh is like a game that I played a lot of multiplayer wise before I got my PS3 was I played a lot of Mario Kart Wii. I think I talked about this. I don't know if I talked about this on stream or if I talked about this in like a podcast, but I played the shit out of Mario Kart on the Wii. Like that was my game. But if you want me to be completely honest, like I played that game day in and day out, and do I remember playing it? Yeah. But it literally has no impact on like gaming for me. Like playing a single player game, playing God of War 2018 has more of an impact than all of that time that I dumped into Mario Kart on the Wii.
Like I would say the only time I get like an impact from an online game is when we boost the game, and because it's not the game, it's us just playing and having fun.
Yeah,
and that's really all it is. Us goofing around, talking shit and all that, but it's not really about the game. It's more about the people,
Yeah.
I think the last time, disregarding boosts, the last time a multiplayer game like captivated me, where I can say like where I was in life and all that shit, was Destiny 1 also. And but like I've always mainly been a single player gamer, I guess.
Same.
So it was strange for me, like when that was being thrown around when people were saying, "Oh, multiplayer is the future. Single player is dying." Because even that year when that was being said, it was I forget what game was coming up, but it was like a great fucking year for like I think it was Bloodborne, The Witcher 3 came out 2015, yeah.
Yeah.
Just a shit ton of like great fucking games came out that year, and it's like how are you feeding this to people?
Right.
And making people believe that it's true.
The sad thing is that
it's just not true.
yeah, the sad thing is that year 2015 was like around the same time that Destiny 1 was out. And I'm like this, like, I know I just said it, but like I'm the same way with you, Waves. Like Destiny 1 is probably the only game, like multiplayer wise, that had an impact on like, and I can remember where I was in life, like when I was playing like every single DLC I played, just because like that game was like the only thing, or like 90% of the time I played games, that was the only game that I was playing. And it wasn't the game itself, it was more the people that I was playing with and like getting on every day and do it. Like I remember that. And I, even around the same time, I was playing a shit ton of, like, I played the NBA 2K games. I played NBA 2K 14, 15, 16, and I think 17 maybe. And these were games that I played like the same amount. I would go on, I would play Park with people, but like I don't remember that. I don't remember that stuff. Like it's not impactful to me. And they were games that I put a lot of time into. And I still don't remember a damn thing. But Destiny 1, I put like 1,000 hours into, maybe more, and it's literally the only game that has had an impact on me.
All right. Well, let's take it back a couple years then. Let's go back to 2017.
Mm-hmm.
This year we got Destiny 2, and I believe it was Call of Duty World War II.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That year we also got, for single player wise, was Super Mario Odyssey, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Horizon Zero Dawn, Resident Evil 7,
Mm-hmm.
Cuphead, AC Origins, South Park: The Fractured Butthole. We did get Injustice 2 and Wolfenstein New Colossus and the Crash Bandicoot trilogy remake. And that's not even counting Neo.
Great
and,
fucking year.
That year,
And-
I remember the most out of that year. I remember Horizon, RE7, and Origins.
And I remember Shadow of War came out that year as well.
And I don't like to remember that game, but I do remember it.
Yeah, you platinumed it.
Yeah, I did.
I think that year I remember Odyssey, Mario Odyssey, Horizon Zero Dawn, the Crash remakes. That was just a great fucking year.
Yeah.
There was a lot of good
It
games
was.
that year.
It was. I remember playing Origins and South Park back to back.
The whole games as service thing is just, to me, and you know, you can take what you want of this. I think that it's a lying bullshit is what it is at the end of the day, because like I said, I played the NBA 2K games and I was into the My Team, which is basically like the ultimate team for like FIFA, and I put time and time into that, and I put a little bit of money into it too, and honestly, I could care less about it now.
It's because it's flawed. Like, it's just a flawed idea.
Well, it's
the only
instant
way it
gratification
works.
is what it is. It's not something that you remember over time. It's just something where in the moment you remember it, and like it's fun and it's exhilarating in that moment. But a week later you're gonna be like, why the fuck did I do that? Like,
Yeah.
Well, I'm speaking more from a business standpoint. It's a flawed idea. How many games as a service came out early PS4 generation? Because that's what everybody was trying to cash in on. And how many of them are dead? How many of them launched this year, and how many of them are already dead?
all of them, 90% of them.
Like, what's that game?
Lawbreakers.
Fall Guys came out.
What did Fall Guys?
Fall Guys came out this year. People still play it, but not as much as before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't even hear people talk
Lawbreakers came out.
Shit was dead.
That's fucking dead.
Shit was dead the second it came out. What was the other game that came out and literally was delisted in 2 days?
The Culling 2.
Culling 2, yep.
I feel like most of these like big publishers, and now I don't think it's a thing, but most of them back then at least were looking at it and being like, this is what people want. Yeah, this is what people want out of 2 games, not out of 100 billion games. I'm still surprised Fortnite's still alive.
It isn't.
When Fortnite happened, it isn't, but it is.
I mean, it's still a thing, but it's dead. The fact that they're still releasing new content is a little surprising, but it's Epic Games, so they got money.
Yeah.
This game should have died in 2018 or 2017.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
100% agree.
And it has kept going. It's like, I remember PS3 era, MOBAs were the big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Every company wanted a MOBA to make. So then we just got all these fucking shitty MOBAs. And then now I'm happy we're at this like we're at this place in the industry where you still have your EAs trying to do their shit and you still have your Activisions trying to do their shit. But when it comes to all the other ones, like Sony, or I guess Square's a bad example because of Avengers, but Capcom and Ubisoft and all these other ones, they've all like just given up on that idea, and they're like, we're just trying to make good games that are sometimes single player.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I guess that's more where I want to land on this point.
Oh.
That thank God we're in this timeline where single player stayed, and not in that other timeline where every game was going to have some kind of fucking shitty multiplayer like it was in PS3.
Well, I think the problem is with the games as a service is these companies don't like. I don't know how it works behind the scenes, but I feel like a lot of these companies don't realize like how much effort it actually takes. And the other thing that they don't realize is like how much people like actually play a game. Like a good example of this is I want to say Ghost of Tsushima Legends, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Even though I praised like that was such a good addition to the game, it was a lot of fun. If that was to release as a single, like as a standalone game for $60, I would have been disappointed. Because
Agreed.
the amount of content that it has for what you would be paying is disappointing. And if they were to say like, hey, in 3 months like 3 months down the line, we're going to start adding DLCs and it's going to be like this, and this. I mean, I would have personally been disappointed, especially if I would have had to pay for the DLCs. Like, that would have been a disappointment, and I think that's what a lot of games as service do is, you know, they get the bones together for the game, they get, like, how the structure is going to work, and then they don't actually put the content in, and they're like, they promise it, and by the time that they actually put it out, the game's dead. Like, I'm pretty sure that's what happened to Anthem. Like, they were like, oh, we're going to support it, we have a timeline, we have this, we have that, and literally, you know, a month or two after the game came out, it was dead. And that's what happened with like Destiny 2 as well. Like Destiny 1, like that's not how Destiny 1 was necessarily structured. Like I think it did have the whole like we are going to provide, you know, DLC and stuff down the line, but Destiny 1 had so much content from the start that it kept people going for months, and then eventually 3 months down the line they put even more in. Whereas in Destiny 2, they didn't do that. You can play through the story in 2 hours. You know, the next DLC's coming out, they're taking shit away from you. Like, it just doesn't make sense. The structure of it doesn't make sense. But I think that's where a lot of, like, companies fail is, like, they don't put enough stuff in it to start off. And if you can't keep people's interest for months before your first expansion comes out, you've already lost.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Well, like you said, Ghost Tsushima. I'll remember the single player more than I will remember Legends.
Yeah.
In that game. And you know what? I loved Legends. It was a nice little DLC pack. It was different than it had its own story, and it was completely different than the actual main game. But I'll still remember the main game more than the online.
Yeah. And the reason I praise Legends is because it was free. For a free update, it was phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
But if you had to pay more than $10 for that, I think I would have been disappointed. Like
Oh yeah, I
they
agree.
probably could have got away for, doing a $10 update, but if you had to spend 20, $30 on that or even 60 and it was a
Yeah.
whole new game, I would have been disappointed. I honestly would have been majorly disappointed in them.
Right, but them doing it for free and to everybody, not just the people who pre-ordered it,
Yeah.
It was phenomenal, and I was like, it got praised a lot by a lot of people, I believe, but it was a great add-on, and I cannot take that away from them.
Yeah.
I thought it was they handled it excellent, and good on Sucker Punch for doing it.
Yeah, and we can end it here. Waves, I think you hit it right on the head by saying that this is just a phase that things are going through, and I think companies are going to start to realize that they're kind of, they're playing the lottery when it comes to putting a game out, and just having a big company to back you to put a games as service out doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be successful. You actually have to make a game that's worth playing for it to be something, and there's so many, and it's so saturated now that I think it's going to slowly start to fizzle out. I mean, it has, but I think it'll slowly continue to fizzle out, and we'll start to see more and more single player games, because those are the ones that are always there, and guess what, that's why video games were started in the first place. So you're just going to go back to your roots.
Yeah, that's something I'm gonna hit on a little later, but for now,
Yeah,
let's talk about these server shutdowns.
Yeah, I can run through these real quick for you guys.
Awesome.
I've been staying up to date on them. So, let's start here. So, next Monday, Madden 25, Madden 15, Madden 16 are going to be unobtainable. If you don't have the solo mutt challenges done, they're already unobtainable. So, keep that in mind. You can't buy cards or anything, so if you're starting from scratch, rip, you're not going to be able to do it. Then up next we have, at the end of the month, Battlefield Hardline, the Test Your Metal trophy is going to be unobtainable on both the PS3 and PS4. So keep your eye out on that. And then basically the NBA 2K19 at the end of the month is also going to be shut down. That's just like annual, like the 2K games just shut down the year after they come out, or 2 years after they come out, I think. So it's just typical. And then also at the end of the year, we have what we've been talking about, Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. Mainly it's the Vendetta mission on the PlayStation 4. It's only on the PlayStation 4. You'll have to do that trophy. There's been some speculation and talks of, do you need to be connected online to do the some of the DLC trophies? I've been looking into it. From what I've read and what I've seen, you don't need to be connected online, so I wouldn't sweat it, but I would try to get it done if you haven't already. And then the last big thing that I'll hit on is Battleborn at the end of January, but I don't think that's another games as service that died. Should have died a few years ago, honestly. But
the other games as a service I just thought about that died on arrival was that looter slasher that came out on the PS5.
Looter slasher?
That's what they were calling it. I forget what it's called.
Oh shit, what is that called? I know what you're talking about. Hold on, I have to look at it. Oh, fuck. What is that?
Slasher.
I'm looking for it.
Godfall.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know. I've been seeing a lot of people play it, but mainly on PC.
Yeah, I mean,
we see people shitting on it.
That's it.
a lot of
Yeah.
people are, but that's your weekly server shutdown update. I think that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did see in that link. Did you see that other link that they put in there?
For what, the server shutdown?
Yeah, in the server shutdown.
Which one? Which link?
This one, list of potentially problematic / erratic servers and online features.
Yes. Let me go to it real quick.
You don't gotta read them all because they're probably a shit ton, but I found that interesting.
Yeah, so there's another forum post in there. So some of the big games in here are wow. Actually some that I didn't even know of. So apparently Anthem is temporarily unobtainable due to being able to find certain collectibles. I'm not sure if that's, tested. Destiny 2, apparently Call to Arms is unobtainable. Major changes to multiplayer structure. And then some other ones. I've been reading MK10 Invasions, maybe like fucked now. So, yeah. And then,
well, that was fucked for a while, then got unfucked and got fucked again. So
yeah, I think that is like those are really like the only like noticeable ones that I've seen over the week that have been kind of messed up. But yeah, if you guys want to check that out, we'll leave the upcoming servers linked below for PSMP, and then there's a sub link in there that'll take you to the problematic servers, which the guy who runs those forum posts keeps everything up to date. He's really good with it.
oh yeah.
On to our next topic.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
There's a game, Project Athia, one of the Square Enix games.
Mm-hmm.
I messed up in putting FF16 on there also, but okay, does this link not exist anymore? Okay, I guess not. Project Athia, which is the game that the FF15 studio is working on, is apparently going to be a 2-year exclusive on the PS5.
Holy crap.
Interesting.
Which, is fucking insane.
I've never heard of it.
That's really that's super long.
It's usually always been like 1 year.
Right, at max, right?
Yeah, 1 year at max.
So it's just it's a little strange.
That's a lot of money Sony threw at them then.
It's a new IP though. It's a little.
Yeah, but
it's risky, but it typically pays off for Sony.
Yeah, and it's Square Enix though.
Yeah, true.
So they're known for good games.
This is also on top of the fact that FS16 has an exclusivity with PS5 console exclusivity. They haven't said how long it is. We just know it is. That one game, Deathloop, has an exclusivity.
Mm-hmm.
Ghostwire Tokyo has an exclusivity. That one Capcom game, I think it was called Pragmata or something like that.
Okay.
Has an exclusivity. Sony's like throwing a shit ton of money into these studios.
Well, they said they were. That was a big rumor back in October that Sony was going and spending money. Look what the money they with Activision to get Call of Duty Zombies for a year as exclusive.
Yeah, I think the
Onslaught mode.
Yeah, I think the tables turned when they got the exclusivity for Call of Duty. Because it used to be granted, it was really only Call of Duty was like the big thing back on like the 360. Right. But I think when like they were able to get that on the PlayStation 4, it was kind of like a big thing. Like, oh shit! And now it's like becoming even a bigger thing.
Right.
And the thing that makes me laugh is like Microsoft's way of like, I feel like their way of like fighting against this is like, oh, you guys want exclusivities for a year? We're just gonna fucking buy studios, like, whatever.
My more thing is with the fans saying, "Oh, that's not fair how they're doing that," and everybody's like, Microsoft did this throughout the whole 360 era to Sony fans.
Yeah.
What was it? Tomb Raider. Wasn't it like a Xbox exclusive for a year before it hit PlayStation?
Rise of Tomb Raider, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, to me, it's fair as fair with us, so.
I have no issues with exclusivity at all. I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's anti-consumer.
No,
They're a business at the end of the day.
Exactly.
These people are out here to make money, not to make you happy.
You could yell at Sony about this, but also, like, how about you yell at the developer who took that money to do it?
A lot of people also forget that these what was I saying? These exclusivity deals are also the reason a lot of these studios are still existing today.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, Square Enix probably would not like survive from this. I mean, would survive not having this exclusivity, but I forget what the game was called, but it got an EGS exclusivity, and people got mad about that. The developer was literally like said that he was on the edge of bankruptcy before Epic came in and like saved their game.
Oh wow.
And saved their game and their company. I mean,
I'll see.
So it's like, yeah, it sucks you don't have Bloodborne on PC, but guess what? Bloodborne probably wouldn't exist without Sony. It's the same reason, like, it sucks Bayonetta 2 is only on the Switch, but guess what? Bayonetta 2 only exists because Nintendo was the only one that wanted to pay for Bayonetta 2 to get made.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what it comes... And that's just like you said, that's just like the basic of business. I mean...
Yeah, the game... See, the way I see it,
if
the
they...
developers see...
Go
ahead. Oh, well, I was going to say, if you look at it, the developers is still making this game. Now they're just going to get a little extra money, you know? Like, alright, we can put that into our employees and upgrade shit now, too, you know? It's more revenue coming in.
Well, it's like it's a different relationship because, you know, without that, most of these, you know, bigger companies, they typically have shareholders. So if the shareholders don't want to invest more into what's going on, then they're kind of, you know, limited to what they can do. Where if Sony comes in and says, hey, look, we'll give you $10 million, just make this happen. Or, you know, whatever it is, we'll give you whatever money you need, just make this happen. The only thing that we want is it's only going to be on our console for 1 year, you know? Like you said, Waves, it wouldn't exist without the funding. It's kind of what it comes down to.
Kind of like Kojima. Sony basically gave him a blank check and told him to make us a game.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it comes down to. You know, money speaks, but a lot of these companies, like, it's like the whole EA thing. I mean, I think part of me thinks that that's why EA is in such a situation that it's in, is because all of the people that are shareholders in there, which I get it, you're in there because you want to make money on your money. That's the whole reason of investing. No one wants to invest and lose money, but I think they've just gotten into such this like thought process of like, we can make all this money for nothing, basically. Like, you put your money in, guess what? We make all of our money on Ultimate Team. That is literally no fucking work. So
but yeah, exclusives are good, and I like my exclusives.
I agree. And when you have
this one's
what?
I was gonna say I find it strange when people get mad when it's a timed. I feel like more people get mad when it's a timed exclusive.
Dude, the thing is, you're going to get it at some point. A game, and I still haven't played it, which I'm mad at myself. But a game that like I really wanted when it came out was Cuphead. Like, I loved like I loved how that game visually looked and like really everything about it. And I was pissed because there was no talk of it when it came out. They were like, it's Xbox. It's only gonna be on Xbox. You want to play it? You gotta either get an Xbox or a PC. Which, like, I was like, I have a PC, I can play it. But then, like, what, a year or whatever later, there's Cuphead on the PS4. Like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, about 2 years later, it came out. Yeah.
Yeah, which is, you know, it's fine with me.
It's funny because it's like, I'm also gonna hit on this when we get to the Cyberpunk stuff. But it's like, if it's your guy doing it, oh, there's no issue. No one had an issue when Yakuza Like a Dragon got pushed back on the PS5 so it can be a Series X exclusive because Microsoft paid them that. But Sony gets FF16 as a exclusive, or Sony just gets an exclusive character in Marvel Avengers and everybody loses their shit.
Right?
Yeah, I mean,
it's
Oh my god,
ridiculous.
PlayStation fans get Spider-Man? That's so unfair. That's so anti-consumer.
that's just the lay of the land. That's how it works.
You know what?
Sorry.
My Spider-Man skin is sitting right in that case right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's just that's just how it works.
Wait
As long
for
as that
it to
money
get played.
talks, and it, it is what it is. Hey, I mean, if you're upset so bad, just come buy a PlayStation. You don't
Yeah,
have to, you don't have to
basically.
play on your refrigerator anymore. But
Come to
So-
PlayStation. We have games.
that aren't services.
So, along the lines of that, like single player research, a shit ton of games got leaked by notable leakers,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
like guys who leaked Days Gone and God of War before they came out and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And these were some of the highlights that I wanted to point out. Bloodborne Remastered.
Now you
I
know.
just saw that.
That would be so good.
And an unannounced project from Bluepoint Games, which they're both the Bloodborne Remaster and this unannounced project are both from Bluepoint. And so the theory recently has been Metal Gear Solid
Yeah, I've heard that for a while.
remake.
Well, yeah, I heard that, and I heard Sony's supposed to have a big reveal at the Game Awards on Thursday.
Yeah, which will tie into that, I guess.
Oh, cool. My
But
bad.
this leaker is saying that it's not Metal Gear Solid and that everybody's going to be surprised
It's Silent
by
Hill.
what it is.
It has to be Silent Hill.
That'd be,
I don't know
That's been rumored
I'm
for
excited
so
to see.
long.
if it actually is true.
that's true.
Silent Hill's been rumored for so long. It has to be Silent Hill.
Well, I mean, to be fair, like every Bluepoint like leak that I've heard has been right.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I mean, if
Hey,
I
you
hear
want-
anything, if I hear Bluepoint making a game, it's gonna happen at some point. Like Bloodborne
Oh, yeah.
Remastered, the fact that it says Bloodborne Remastered right here means it's coming out at some point because
Oh, yeah.
Demon Souls got leaked like 2 years ago that Bluepoint was remastering it. So
Yeah. We just didn't know when it was going to get released, and then once it got closer to the PS5, that's when everybody's like, that's going to be a day one.
Yeah.
But you know what? I like Bluepoint games. I'm waiting for Sony to buy them. It's going to happen sooner or later.
I hope they do.
I think they will.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
But because
Their
all the games
remasters
they've
are
done
phenomenal.
have been phenomenal.
The other thing is another project with From Software, so another PlayStation exclusive From Software game. Which I'm hoping is Bloodborne 2, but if it's something else, that'll be cool.
Yeah.
Well,
Guerrilla Games, I know right now they're working on Horizon Zero West or whatever it's called.
Forbidden West.
I remember like a few years ago, they got the director of Rainbow Six Siege or something
Yes.
like that.
Yep.
And I guess this unannounced project is going to be that guy's thing.
Right. They hired a team for the multiplayer, I believe, right?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a Siege
Yeah.
competitor.
Okay.
Because I think now Guerrilla Games is what's it called? 2 teams.
Well,
There's a team A and a team B.
Makes
right.
sense.
Well, didn't they have 2 teams? Because one team helped out Kojima with Death Stranding.
They probably one of the teams worked on it. I'm guessing Team A right now is working on Forbidden West,
Right.
and then Team B is probably working on this Siege thing.
Right.
Then Spider-Man 2, which we're already.
Oh, yeah, we
It's
already
gonna
knew that was
happen.
coming out.
Yeah, I know another thing. I'm trying to remember. I don't know. It's talking about it in the article, but like people have been talking about like a new SOCOM game for a while. So I don't know if
I can see Gorilla doing that.
this is. I don't know if they're gonna make like a SOCOM game that's gonna compete with Siege.
That'd be kind of cool.
It would
Not
be
gonna lie.
it would be cool, but the thing is, like, there's so many diehard SOCOM fans that, like, if they change SOCOM to be like
They're gonna
Siege, I
shit
think
on
people
it.
will get pissed off.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I think that would be like the most logical conclusion for it, though.
yeah,
If you want me to be honest, like Rainbow Six is nothing like how Siege is right now.
I mean
Like
that's
when it
true.
started, like Vegas and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, as long as it's some sort of like tactical shooter, I think that's all that matters.
Yeah,
It's
and
SOCOM
I
enough.
think that's like the only thing Sony really like is missing. Like Sony's got it with the single player story driven games, but like
Yeah, they
even though like a few minutes ago we just said the multiplayer isn't thriving or whatever. I think Sony does need that because like this is like another thing that I think Sony needs is a Western RPG because Microsoft basically has all of those now.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
so
Yeah, I mean,
Like-
they have Halo, they have Gears of War, they have Bethesda, which means they have Elder Scrolls, and now Obsidian is making that like Elder Scrolls ripoff game.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, they've been lacking, like, to be fair, Sony's been lacking, like, first or third person shooters, like, you know,
Mhm.
from their own parties for like a while. So, it would be nice to see it. The big problem I see is like, Killzone Shadowfall was like, wasn't that a launch game on PS4 and it like flopped? So
Yes.
I think it's hard for them to like commit so much money to something like when that was the outcome. But at the same time, like Killzone 2 was like, or Killzone on the PS3 in general, and even like PS2, like those games were jumping.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's gonna
No.
be a Killzone game though. I think Killzone's dead. But
Yeah, I don't think Killzone's gonna happen again.
Now, one rumor I heard a while ago, and I've been looking for it, so I can't find it yet, was about Bluepoint. About if Sony bought them, how they want to make their own game. Like, they're not a remake or nothing, how they want to make their own game. And I think Sony should let them try it, in all honesty.
yeah, I
If
mean,
that does happen.
I mean, they should because they can't. If Sony buys them, there's only so many like PlayStation games they can like remake.
I mean,
Yeah, unless they get some acquisition, buy some more, like, IPs and all that.
yeah, I mean, I've been saying it for like a while that when it comes to like remastering the like games, I think that the way that companies should structure it is they should have, you know, they should have a team that's working on like remastering an older game, and then they should have a team that's working on like the narrative for another game. And I think that would work perfect with Bluepoint if Sony was to buy them. Like Bluepoint can still remaster their games. Like the people who have been remastering can still do them because when you go to remaster a game, you're not changing the narrative of the game. You're just changing the way the game plays and the experience and the way it looks. So
Right.
if you're able to let those people keep doing their thing, and then you let Bluepoint hire a dozen people to kind of make a new narrative for a new game, by the time that they're done with that remaster, hopefully the narrative for the new game is ironed out, and then the team that was remastering can now start working on the new IP in the meantime.
Okay.
I mean, that would be like, I think that would be like the most ideal way to do it from like Sony's standpoint. Like, let them remaster. Like, they obviously have something else coming out, but I think that would be cool.
The other thing that like, another one of these games that got leaked that kind of surprised me, and now I don't think is true, is Silent Hill, and this is not a Silent Hill not directed by Hideo Kojima, but a Silent Hill directed by the original director of Silent Hill, Keiichiro Toyama.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I don't think that's going to happen, and we'll talk about this, I think it's the next topic. Keiichiro Toyama left Sony last week, along with some other Sony leads.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only one where I'm like, And then there's some other stuff like Last of Us Factions being a standalone game and
An unannounced Naughty Dog game.
unannounced Naughty Dog game.
Unannounced San Diego Studios game. Unannounced Santa Monica Studios game.
God of War
Sucker
2.
Punch
Ghost
Ghost 2
2.
maybe.
I'm hoping for a new Infamous, actually.
That would be cool. Or
I
some
think
sort
the
of,
next one is definitely gonna be Ghost 2.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
it has to
How
be.
well it's sold. Yeah, they want
How
to keep
well
up
it
on
did.
that hype.
We'll leave the Reddit link below. You guys can go look through those leaks and the validity of them with the details if you want to.
Since we already talked about studio leads, let's hop
Yeah,
over
let's
to
just
this
jump
one
to that
Yeah,
one.
real quick.
Yeah.
We can do that one next.
So last week was a lot of leads leaving a lot of studios. Right here I only have 2. But the big one was BioWare.
Mm-hmm.
I think the founder of the studio left, and the guy who was producing Dragon Age 4 also left the studio. Oh, fuck.
Yes.
Also left the studio.
Yeah, that's right.
So there's that, and then the Days Gone writer and director left Ben's studio. Left Sony Ben's studio. And then that's on top of the fact that I think this year, a bunch of Naughty Dog devs left. They got poached actually by that Microsoft studio, The Initiative, I think it's called.
Okay.
Keiichiro Toyama left last week also. Some Sony San Diego people left. Sony's just been bleeding dry with developers recently. But the big ones from last week is the Days Gone writer and the director left. The founder of BioWare left, and the producer of Dragon Age 4 left, and Keiichiro Toyama left. Sony.
Yeah, those are some big ones to lose. Hopefully they have something else planned for themselves, and they didn't leave just for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think they have plans, but the thing that is scary about like that, I guess it's not really scary, but like people leaving like mid development of a game can really throw a wrench in stuff because especially if it's going off of someone's vision. I just can see for the next person coming in, like 9 out of 10 times that person, like if when they finish the game, it's not going to be what the original person wanted. Actually, 10 out of 10 times, it's probably never going to be what the original person thought. So it just puts that new person in a hard spot. And then I think it just like it hurts them later on because then people see like that game, even though that's not their game. They came in to like finish it. So
it sucks when someone who's been a big figure in your company leaves like that. It's like when Jason and Andy Gavin left Naughty Dog the first time.
Oh.
It was like you leave like a power vacuum, and everybody's been. I'm talking about this like if it's a war, but everybody's been looking up to these people for guidance and everything, and now those people aren't there anymore. And it's concerning for BioWare already, because especially BioWare this year has just been just a bunch of people have been leaving it this year. And then also BioWare is probably like just one more bad game away from being shut down.
yeah, which is
this has already put a wrench.
So sad to hear that.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
BioWare used to be like the best.
Yeah, I think the other issue that I see that it brings up, because I mean this is just if you look at anything in any workspace, if there's always a reason why people are leaving. If someone's enjoying their job and everything and they're enjoying what they're doing, they don't just pick up and go. There's always a reason to why. So when stuff like this happens, it's a big deal because you have to look at it and say, is there an issue with the studio? Did this person strictly just leave because they got offered, they got a job offer that is, significantly more money? Because that's always a reason to leave a job. Sadly, money is always a reason because you can only make so much money. You only have so much time to make so much money. So
Right.
that's always a reason to leave a job as well. And I'm all for like people staying loyal and everything, but like, dude, I said it before, money talks, and if someone offers you a significant amount of money and you know that you only have so much more like time to work, like you're gonna take it.
Oh yeah.
It's also on the fact that game development in general is very volatile.
Yeah.
As a employee.
Yeah.
Like, you could have your job one day, and then the next day you're just gone.
Yeah.
Like, it's happened that one of my professors had that happen to them at Gearbox. It's probably the same reason why those people who got poached by Microsoft went with Microsoft, because Naughty Dog has always had like a culture of crunch and of not necessarily telling you, oh, you have to work. I mean, but you don't have to if you don't want to. But if you don't, we're going to, reprimand you and stuff like that.
Right.
And I think it's like both a work culture thing and people just getting burnt out. Like, if you're working, even though like Days Gone is a meme among a lot of people, if you're working on a Mass Effect, if you're working on a Dragon Age, if you're working on even a Days Gone or a Last of Us 2, you're expected to have some kind of crunch, even Cyberpunk. And this was a topic that was hit on like a few years ago. How long are these people going to stay here? And how long are they going to stay here, and how long are they going to take it before they want to say fuck it and leave?
Yeah, I mean, that's why like the big question comes down to like, is it the workplace? Because the thing is, I mean, it happens with like any, like it really happens with anything, right? I mean, it happens within like, I do engineering, and it happens within like, my trade, where there's 50 design engineers and there's one project manager, and that project manager could leave and pull people with him, and he could pull the half of the group with him, but at the end of the day it's more important like what happens to him, right? Because he's the one who has the contacts or has this and has that. Where I feel like in the game industry, there's like all of these people that are developing. There's so many people that work on the game that are like the quote unquote bottom of the barrel people. And like, they're the ones that are getting treated like shit. But when you have the people higher up that are leaving, like the significant people, that's when you have to look at it and say like, is there actually a problem? Because not saying it is acceptable, but it almost is acceptable when like people on the bottom are leaving and switching and doing this and doing that. Like, that's just looked at as like normal, like that's normal day-to-day life almost. But when you have people that have been with companies for dozens of years that just get up and go, you kind of have to look at it and be like, where is the actual issue, or what is the issue?
Yeah.
It's like with Keiichiro Toyama and Fumito Ueda. Fumito Ueda, he worked on Ico and Shadow of the Colossus, and then later The Last Guardian. These people were prominent figures in Sony Japan studio, and then they left and made their own studio, because with Fumito Ueda, it was because Sony wasn't giving them enough time with The Last Guardian and wasn't giving them enough resources for The Last Guardian. For Keiichiro Toyama, he's now been burned on 2 franchises that he's made, which is Siren and Gravity Rush. And it's almost like these they're kind of like imploding on themselves or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something that's kind of been like bubbling to the surface, I guess.
Yeah.
That I guess most of these studio heads and studio leads are not happy with where they are in their career, and a lot of these people have put off making a family, have not seen their children for days, and things like that.
It's a rough life
to make games.
Yeah.
So it's a shitty situation, and it probably doesn't bode well for Sony Bend or BioWare.
Yeah.
That's sad. So
it is, and I think a majority, I mean, you said it, Waves, but I think a majority of it comes down to, I mean, it comes down to money, because money buys time for them. And that's where the whole crunch comes in. But with, I mean, I'm assuming, you know, Sony has to obviously have some sort of shareholders. It always comes down to the shareholders, and like, if they want something, like, Sony has to do something to satisfy them, because if they don't satisfy them, they don't get their money. So it's almost like they have to play like the middleman in all of the situations, where they have to satisfy the person giving them the money, but they also have to satisfy the people that are making the product for them. And most of the times, the money is more important than the product, which is wrong, because without the product, they have no money. So they usually sacrifice it on the product side and not on the money side, which is like the sad part about all of it.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to wait. I mean, this is all like fresh. So we'll have to wait to see kind of if there's any statements that are put out to why these people left, or, you know, what's going to be the path forward with some of these studios. Obviously,
Right.
people are going to be stepping into their shoes, pretty big shoes to step into. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens with them.
And I hope they do well.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm not hoping that they do awful like a lot of other people are doing. But...
Like, I would never blame anybody for trying to better themselves. That is the most important thing. Be happy and try to better yourself.
Yeah, I think a lot of people see it as like, them being a traitor to, Sony. But at the end of the day, you have to look at it the other way. I mean, maybe they feel that way, that Sony has been mistreating them. So it's not worth them doing or putting up with it anymore. And like you said, Brian, they're worried. They should be worried about themselves at the end of the day. So you can't really hate them.
Oh no,
you really shouldn't. I mean,
like, personally, it's stuff I'm going through with my work. Trying to find something to better myself with everything. So I feel where these people are coming from.
Yeah, and I mean, I had something similar happen over the summer where, I wasn't super happy where I was, and I literally had something fall on my lap. Like, I wasn't looking, nothing. Something literally fell right on my lap, and I was just like, yeah, I mean, it's going to make me happier at the end of the day, so I'm definitely doing it, so...
Yes, and you're bettering yourself, and that's all, and you're more happier, that's all that matters.
Yeah, and I mean, did I feel bad that I was leaving, where I was? Did I feel bad for the people I was working for? I mean, yeah, because I had a lot of responsibility, but at the end of the day, I couldn't put up with it. And in my mind, the better solution for me was to get out of it, and that's what I did. So,
yeah, see?
Okay, Do you wanna end with Cyberpunk, or do you want to end on my addition? My additional note.
Let's
end on
your edition.
Cyberpunk.
Okay, so let's hit on my.
And we'll give the Cory Barlog
a quick little look.
An honorable mention.
So I'm sure everyone here watches The Mandalorian. So on the 8th, which was today actually, early this morning, Cory Barlog put out a tweet saying that if someone isn't working on a great single-player Mandalorian game where you play as a bounty hunter flying your ship from system to system, picking up bounties, upgrading your Beskar armor, and getting into adventures, then I really don't know what the hell we're doing here. This kind of ties into the single-player discussion we had earlier, where, like, this sounds like a phenomenal game on paper. And I think, minus the going from systems to systems, I think this game, and maybe the best car, this game is basically what Star Wars 1313 would have been.
Yeah. Well, I got two things to add to this. One, Cory, stop watching Mandalorian and finish Ragnarok. Two, he's known to be a freaking troll online, and he'll tease stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a contract to make the fucking Mandalorian game. I'm just saying. You never know, Cory.
Sad thing about this, I don't know if y'all saw it, but someone that was working on that game,
Oh, I saw that.
tweeted at him, and they were like, "Yeah, we were,"
Yeah.
or something like that.
I think that's kind of where the 1313 came in. I think it was someone that was working on 1313 came in and basically said like, "Yeah, that's basically what we were working on." Oh, it's right here. It's right here. Was it
Celia Hoden?
Yeah, she tweeted out Star Wars 1313, and she said, "Man, this hurts." So
I wish that game came out.
But
that would have been. That was like one of those games that died with the
LucasArts.
with the Lucasfilm buy.
Yeah, by Disney. Yeah.
But
and it's
Dead on Arrival.
That one.
Sadly.
There was also another one that was like a gritty first-person shooter, for Star Wars. That was supposed to be like the revival of Battlefront or something like that.
Yeah, there was a
those two.
There was a few. So there was 1313. There was obviously I think there was like talks of Force Unleashed 3, but it kind of got like knocked, and then it was Star Wars Battlefront. It was supposed to be Star Wars Battlefront 3. They were pretty far into development on it, and it was around the time that the whole Disney thing happened, or maybe like right before it, but it got like trashed basically.
So this is the one I was talking about. Star Wars First Assault. Yeah. And it was like, it's basically SOCOM, but with Star Wars. It looked fucking awesome. There's like some leaked like footage out there.
Yeah, I remember when there was leaked gameplay for Battlefront 3, and it looked dope. Like it looked so cool. Like
the one where you could go from the planet to space.
Yeah. Yep. It looked so cool, but
well,
I just wanted to throw that in there. Sad little tweet that Cory put out. Like, man's spitting the truth right now, but it'll probably never happen.
You know what? Knowing him, you don't know if it's taking him seriously or not with this.
Nah,
because he does troll a lot, but he does like throw little Easter eggs out there, like stuff that's going on. Like he even put in this week. I bet somewhere there is a dev who is secretly working on this, and they just like this tweet as a small way to say on it, "This is a entirely fictional person I just created in my mind."
Nah, he's jabbing EA right now, which is hilarious.
Oh yeah. And he's
There's
good for
probably a chance they're making, because what's that one EA Vancouver or something like that?
Yeah.
They took over what Treyarch had,
Mm-hmm.
which was basically going to be what 1313 was going to be, or something like that.
Like you never know with him though. Like it could be being worked on, and he knows and we don't, and he's kind of like just throwing it out there a bit, you know?
Yeah.
We'll find out in the future if he's right. We find out like in a year, and we're like, "See, told you, Cory."
Yeah.
I hope it's getting made, because
one can only pray.
Oh yeah.
EA is EA.
Their contract should be up soon, shouldn't it?
Oh yeah.
10 years.
I think Disney said they're happy with how they're doing, so they might renew it with them.
I
need to have a talk with the Disney CEO then.
I think Disney should be looking at Sony because Spider-Man sold very
EA's like hard shell is starting to like crack, I feel.
Oh yeah.
Especially with how well Jedi Fallen Order did.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping they do give Vancouver the chance to make like whatever 1313 was going to be. It's obviously not going to be 1313 anymore.
No. They'll change the name and all that, but yeah.
Yeah. But I figured I thought of that after we talked about the single player thriving, but I figured we could throw that in there to end with. Well, before we end with the banger of them all, which I don't want to talk about this for too long because there are some there's going to be some changes that come out after Thursday.
Right.
Because there's a day one patch.
Yeah, there's not been any gameplay released there. It like well, if you don't know what we're talking about Cyberpunk 2077. But
overhyped game of the year.
There's been reviews and things have been, released, but there's been embargo for no gameplay, so people haven't really been showing what they've been talking about, but there's been a lot of discussions about what people have been seeing.
No console keys, so no one who reviewed it got to play it on a console.
Yeah, that's another thing. So, which could be good, it could be bad. Because if you
that's a bad.
Well, if you compare it to something like Batman Arkham Knight, we're talking, a significantly better game. But if that was like an anomaly, I think. But I don't know if you want to talk. I've looked at a few things for Cyberpunk. I've been reading a few things. I've been reading a lot of not good things. And I think the biggest thing that's irritating is that this game has been delayed and delayed and delayed. And I've always said it. If you want to delay a game, I think that that's perfectly fine. If you're delaying a game because you want to polish it, because you want to finish this, you want to finish that, and you want to put out the best product you can put out, go right ahead. I think that is no one should ever argue with that. But I think what people are, pissed off about, which you can correct me if I'm wrong, Waves or Brian, as you've been like reading through things, is I think people are pissed off because, CD Projekt Red has been delaying this for so long and it's finally out. And there's still so many issues with it.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
That's what it comes. That's what it comes down to. Like that's all it boils down to.
Like
the thing is, here you go, Brian.
Oh no, go ahead. I'm still gathering my thoughts with this.
Thing is, oh sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm so trying to go.
You go ahead, Brian.
Alright, fine, I got some of my thoughts. My problem with it is you kept delaying the game. Alright, it's finally coming out, but it's not for next gen yet either. How the hell are you going to release a new game without the next gen version as well?
Do you want to know a game that did that? I'll answer your question real quick.
Alright.
You really want to know?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Enemy Front.
We're not going to talk about Enemy Front.
Enemy Front came out in February, I'm pretty sure February, of 2014. It came out on the PlayStation 3, and only the PlayStation 3, in February of 2014. When did the Waves? Can you remind me? When did the PlayStation 4 come out?
November 2013.
Oh, okay. Jeez, what's going on there?
Well, damn it, Sickle.
I'm just trying to put some stuff together,
Yeah, you're right. But
look,
some of the points though are the game's still broken. Some of the things I've heard, I've read, was some of it. One of the glitches is ruining the ending for people.
Nope.
I read that one.
The game's giving epileptic seizures to people.
I did not read that one. Holy crap! And to be honest, I'm not even hyped for this game no more. I was hyped, but they kept delaying it. I'm not hyped for it no more. And if you own a PS5 or an Xbox or the new Xbox, why would you wait? Why would you pay for the version now and wait to play it later?
Yeah.
I'm not going to play it on the PS4. I'm going to wait for the PS5 version. There goes a sale.
I've got so much on my mind about this fucking game.
Well, that's why I wanted to go first before I let you go. So I'm done.
I remember when this game got announced, I think in 2013.
7 years ago.
And I was like, this game looks fucking dank as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it was just a fucking teaser trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Then they re-announce it. And I'm still hyped for it, even though I didn't like The Witcher 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then the more and more I heard and saw about this game, the more I became like, yeah, no, this ain't it, Chief. And because if everything is true that they're saying right now, even if there is a day one patch that might fix this stuff, and I'm hoping there is, and I don't want Cyberpunk to fail. I'm not an asshole that wishes for like these developers to fail. But you took let's say 5 years to make this game, because the game was announced 7 years, but they didn't really start working on it until after The Witcher 3, which was 2015.
Okay.
You took 5 years to make this game.
Mm-hmm.
Very ambitious game. I won't doubt them that. Main story is 15 hours. Everything, if you want to do everything, so side content, side quests, everything, it's about 50 hours. The game is still buggy as hell, even after multiple delays. There was no warning when you open the game. You know how every game has a warning about epileptic seizures and all that?
Oh, yeah.
There's no warning of that until someone told them yesterday. And so now they're like, oh, we'll update the game to have that in there.
That's a lawsuit.
And
yeah, it really is.
In a year where accessibility options have been like fucking insane with The Last of Us 2, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Watch Dogs, and Watch Dogs Legion. I can't think of some other game, but there was some other game out there. You're not gonna have they're not even putting an option to just turn off that or whatever. You're just putting a disclaimer on there. That's just a simple turn off lights option in whatever engine they're doing it in. The ending is ruined by a glitch, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
And the funny thing to me, right now I think it's sitting at a 90 on Metacritic or something like that.
It's that high?
Yeah, last time I checked it was. Yeah.
Let me check. Metacritic, Cyberpunk. Yeah, right now it's sitting at a 91. But a lot of those are also people who are mad at the lower scores and just shoving their shit on there. And there's also another the other issue of there is no console reviews out there. If this game's already buggy on PC,
how buggy is it going to be on a console? Yeah.
CD Projekt Red their main audience is going to be on PC. If this game is buggy on PC, do not buy it on a PS4.
No.
Do not buy it on an Xbox One. Do not buy it on an Xbox One X. Wait for that PS5 copy.
Yep.
Because that game will probably not be playable on PS4.
Like, don't get me wrong. I want to play the game, but I'm gonna wait.
Yeah,
you should wait.
I'm the same way. I mean, I haven't been super hyped for it, to be completely honest. Like I think the environment is cool and everything. I think the biggest thing, I mean, I agree with everything that Wave said. Another thing that really irritated me, which, you know, I was reading from like reviews and people online, was people basically saying, which like, I can see how this is like a cool function in a game, but it would irritate me as like a completionist and a trophy hunter, is that people are saying that they played through the game 2 times, or they played through a game and they did a side quest, and a choice that they made basically didn't show they basically said that they did a mission in the game, right? And it was their favorite mission in the whole game. It was like a side quest or something. It was their favorite mission in the whole game, and they talked about it with their friend, and their friend never experienced that mission because of a choice that they made earlier in the game.
Oh my god, it's one of those.
So that just irritates me. Like, I see how you can say like it gives playability because you want to play back through the game and make different choices, but when it comes to an RPG, honestly, like I feel like that's really not how it should play, because you know, you're playing a game to role play, and the outcome should should generally be the same for everything. The fact that people are saying that like they played their favorite mission in the game and another person that played it never saw that mission, it just goes to show that like, yeah, you can have a different experience, but like someone could hate the game because of a mission, and you literally put one mission in it that could completely change it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Which like I just think that that's the part again, and like, you know, you could argue and tell me like that's the best part of it, but at the same time, to me, that's what would piss me off the most. And I agree with like everything that Wave said. Like, this game should not have been released in this state, and the fact that it was just goes to show that like, why didn't you just delay it more? Like, honestly,
Wasn't the game supposed to come out like August or September, like originally, like for this year?
I think it was September. Originally,
That's
it was
what I
September,
thought,
and
too.
they kept pushing it back. You know, next month. So
But and you got so many people defending this game, and somebody put down like,
That's what I was gonna say next.
oh
yeah, I mean, I agree.
No, you keep going. You keep going.
yeah, so many people are defending the game, and somebody put out a quote or a point. Well, you guys shit on Days Gone, but because it got released with bugs, but yet it's like you shit all over Days Gone, but CD Projekt Red makes Cyberpunk. It's all okay. And somebody's like, and he's like, so what's the difference? And somebody's like, well, Days Gone was a shit game. Cyberpunk's a good game. And he's like, have you played the game? He's like, no. He's like, then you don't know it's a good game yet.
This is.
It's
I
sad.
couldn't just stop but to think about the parallels between this game and The Last of Us 2. And I know I'm in, like... Well, Snickle hasn't played it yet, so... But I'm in the minority that thinks that The Last of Us 2 is a good game.
I like the aspects of The Last of Us Part 2. I don't think it's Game of the Year material. That's all.
But I could not help but to look at how fans, gamers, quote-unquote,
There you go.
reacted to The Last of Us 2 just because fuck Naughty Dog and
Yeah.
fuck gay people and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they were calling it a 5 out of 10 game, a 3 out of 10 game, a shit out of 10 game.
True, but you also it goes on a roll though.
Throughout my
Go ahead.
sorry, throughout my entire time playing that game, I never had one single bug.
Nope.
I understand most of the people's problem with the game is the story, but when you look at a game, I personally feel you should look at it at its entirety.
Mm-hmm.
Story, gameplay, characters, whatever. Everybody shit on it and said it had shitty gameplay.
Oh, bullshit.
The Last
no.
of Us 2 gameplay, I would say, is almost on par with the Metal Gear Solid 5 gameplay.
Okay.
And then you look at how people just called it a shitty game and all this just because of these small things. But then you go look at Cyberpunk and CDPR, who everybody sucks their dick because they made The Witcher 3.
Yeah.
And I didn't like The Witcher 3. People liked The Witcher 3.
I didn't
Good
like The
for
Witcher
them.
3 either. So.
But you can't just let a company get away with... It's the same thing with Bethesda. Bethesda games always come out buggy and shitty running on like console or PC when they first come out. But everyone's just fine with it because it's part of the charm. You should not be okay with that. It's the same reason why Days Gone got a 7 out of 10 or 6 out of 10 for most major outlets, because it was buggy as hell.
Right.
Why is it wrong for the only like one that I actually looked at was the Polygon review of Cyberpunk, where they talked about the bugs and everything like that. Why is it wrong for a developer to give a bad review of a game because it's buggy? And why is it wrong when it's only CDPR?
Right. I agree with you, Waves. Like, I try not to read reviews. I never did for The Last of Us Part 2. I know there was so much going on with that game, but I wanted to sit down and play it for myself. And what I like. And my biggest issue was just the pacing, but gameplay-wise, phenomenal. Graphically, phenomenal. Everything, I did like the game for that part. Like, I won't shit on The Last of Us Part 2. And I like how they did it, Like, my biggest issue was just some of the pacing. That was it. The combat was one of my favorites of this year, or in a very long time, even. The AI, especially, you turn that AI up, that difficulty up, that AI is so smart.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, why does Cyberpunk get a free pass on this? And they shouldn't.
If you want my complete and honest truth to this,
Of course.
I think it's like this, and the reason that it's been released is, CD Projekt Red is just so far into it already that, and the hype is all there, and they've been hyping it up for this long that they would look stupid if it didn't come out. So at this point, they're releasing it however it is, and people are defending it because it's CD Projekt Red.
Yeah, but I also don't want the game to flop because they made this bad decision.
Well, that's why I'm saying they're so far in that it doesn't matter. Like, if it does flop, it does.
Yeah, if it flops, then it deserves to flop. Like,
Right. Yeah,
there are good games that have flopped. Like, one of my favorite games on the PS2, God Hand, flopped. I was probably like one of the 2 people who bought that game. But it deserved to flop for a reason because they didn't market it at all. If Cyberpunk is as buggy as they say, and it flops and it deserved to flop, there's a difference between wanting a company to fail and it deserving it or whatever.
Right.
I'm not saying CDPR deserves it, and I'm not saying I want them to fail. But if they fucked up, then they fucked up, and they deserve them what happened to them.
Exactly. I never want a company to fail because you never know what. One day they're going to come up with a freaking hype game, and it's going to be phenomenal. But I'm like you, Waze, though. I didn't like The Witcher 3, so I don't. That's why I'm not truly hyped for this either.
And it's also the fact that I feel people have forgotten who CDPR is. CDPR has made one good game.
Mm-hmm.
If we're just talking about objectively speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
They have made one good game. If you were going to tell me that The Witcher 1 or 2 maybe, but if The Witcher 1 is a good game, then I need you to go play some actual good games.
Right.
No, I think that CD Projekt Red is so far into this that if they give up, they look like an idiot. So they're just putting it out. And I'm not saying like they definitely could have like kept delaying it, but maybe they realized that there's no coming back. So they're just like, well, we got to do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like, I think this is just, like, a testament to show people, like, hey, maybe you shouldn't go this hard into, like, a game's marketing, like, this fast. Because that's how it kind of felt, like,
if they gotta pay Keanu Reeves, just tell him it'll be a while. He's a nice guy. He'll probably wait on his check. Shit.
I think this experience shows, like, teaches multiple things. For one, stop putting these developers in these companies on pedestals.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big major thing. I like Naughty Dog, and Naughty Dog has made some of my favorite games.
Yes.
But I'm going to say Uncharted 3, compared to the rest of the other Uncharted, was bad.
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree on that.
The Last of Us had shitty gameplay.
Oh yeah, play like a brick.
But it had a fantastic story.
The Last of Us 2 had weird pacing.
There we go. That's the best way to put it. But phenomenal gameplay.
The Witcher 3 had way too big of a map.
Yeah.
The Witcher 3 has a weird running animation. And those are purely me things, but still, stop putting Kojima on a pedestal.
Oh, yeah.
Stop putting Neil Druckmann on a pedestal. Stop putting Shinji Mikami on a pedestal.
Well,
and when the game comes out and actually give it your actual fucking thoughts on it, and not, oh, whatever person made this game, so game has to be good.
No. You have to actually play it. You want to know something funny that you mentioned that ways? The run animation in The Witcher 3 is the whole reason why I haven't played it.
Yeah, that's why I said it, because I think you and me talked about it.
Yeah, I mean that's why when I play a game, how the game the game can look good, right? Any game can look good nowadays. The story is a big thing because the story, a story can be shit. But another thing that I think people forget about is not just the gameplay from a combat perspective, because I've heard people say that they hate The Witcher 3 combat, but also the way a game plays. If I'm gonna play The Witcher 3 and Geralt's gonna feel like a fucking a brick when he's walking around like a tank, and then you go and play something like Ghost of Tsushima, which feels natural, I'm gonna pick Ghost all day over that, from a gameplay perspective. No matter what the story is, I'm gonna pick it from a gameplay perspective. But
yeah, exactly.
I don't know why people put, like you said, they made one good game. Why is CD Projekt Red on such a high pedestal? And I think part of it has to do with themselves. They've hyped this game up. They've acted like they're the next best thing. And this may just go to show that they may not be. And I'm not saying I want them to fail. No one wants anyone to fail, but it's lessons, I think, is what it comes down to.
Yeah. Well, look at Kojima, Death Stranding. When it came out on the PS4, people shit on it. Once it hit PC, oh, it's the best fucking... This thing's a masterpiece, blah, blah, blah. Really? You guys were shitting on it because it was console only. Now it's on PC. Now it's awesome.
Yeah.
That also... Because I like Death Stranding. I thought it was a good game.
Yeah.
After I finally finished it, I thought it was a good game.
Yeah, it takes a while to finish, but...
All right.
But yeah.
We don't.
That's where I'm.
We don't have to beat a dead horse right here. At the end of the day, we're gonna have to wait and see what happens. The game isn't out yet. The reviews are out. There's a lot of sketchy things happening. We're gonna wait until at least after Thursday when the gameplay gets released, everything gets released. I'm sure we're gonna talk about this next week because it's gonna be a big thing. So we'll continue to cover it as it goes along.
Yeah, I'm still gonna wait for the PS5 version though.
Oh yeah, no doubt. But I'm just looking at a little bit of time that we have going on here.
Oh yeah. Soon.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Catch us next week.
Yeah. We'll catch us next week. We'll have all the topics. We'll continue to discuss this. This will probably be a topic for the next few weeks, just because this game has been such a big thing since its inception, and I think it's mainly come down to the hype that's been putting up. So, you can follow us. We'll have all of our socials and everything linked down below. If there's any topics that you want us to discuss, we didn't discuss this week, or that you want us to discuss in the upcoming weeks, you can leave them in the comments below this video, or you can tweet at us at rogue_hunters on Twitter. You can go follow us over there as well. But yeah. Thank you guys for stopping by for this episode, and we'll see you next week.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.